that UAB in Birmingham would be such a big game. And now we look up, and Sunday is one of the most important games of the season.
And it is, and we know it will be very important to them. Look, they're out of the – to them, well, to most everybody, they're out of that bargain basement conference, and they're in a lot better conference now.
Sure.
And Sunday's, their chance to maybe really shine. Yeah. They had a tough loss earlier in the week, Wednesday night.
To Charlotte. So that was, and Charlotte's been playing, good basketball. But that's a good point you bring up, Brett, because I think here locally in Memphis, we all view the American Conference today as worse than what it was. This Tigers are now in a worse conference. This is just a bad conference for those teams. It's a better conference. I mean, they moved up.
And all those things are true.
Yes, and all of those teams are true, but you come across it very differently when you're a team, like UAB, and now you're playing one of the teams in Memphis that is returning and coming back and playing. You want to go out there and beat them. You want to go and show, hey, we're here for the American. We're going to play our best. We're going to get a win. We're going to beat one of those returning teams. And for the Tigers, it's, one of these CUSA teams are now in our conference.
Yeah, and I know with a Tiger win on Sunday, and that is what is paramount this weekend. With that win and whatever else happens in the conference, I know this can juggle wildly. Maybe even, I don't know the tiebreakers or stuff, but by the end of the weekend, by end of the game Sunday afternoon in Birmingham, the Tigers could be back in the first spot in the AAC, or not far from it, close enough. But right now, it's T5.
Yeah. Well, that's just, they're at that spot of the season, and the American has just been so goofy this year, and that, like you said, they win on Sunday, and they're, 1, 2, maybe 3 in the conference. They lose, they're going to be 8 or 9 in the conference, and it's just, that sort of year in the American.
Kind of a conference championship game of sorts for the Tigers. It's not the AFC championship game or the NFC championship game, but it's AAC. Not play out, not play in, but it's something.
It's something, Brett. I don't know what it is, but it's something.
It's compounded by that 20-point lead blown at home to South Florida. Everybody, all of us. You had it preseason as lost at Tulane. I didn't, but I'm sure. You were right, and with the history of that place, this would all be better if it hadn't been for that at home.
Yeah.
That happened. Now, I know South Florida's playing better. And South Florida's in pretty good position in today in the AAC. But let's don't make them into much, because the net doesn't, and the rest of college basketball doesn't.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, and so it's just one of those tricky things, and I heard somebody talking about this on ESPN, I think, the other day, or on a college basketball podcast, and they said the Tigers right now are in a conference that, if they, they're teams that are going to be competitive and that are going to give them a run for their money, like we saw against USF, they're going to get tripped up. But this isn't a conference where, anymore at least, where if they trip up in that position, it's not the end of the world. This is they're in a position where any game they trip up in, any game they lose, it's going to hurt them because of what the rest of this conference is in terms of those things that the NCAA tournament looks at the end of the year for selection day. It's going to hurt them because there are not a lot of teams in this conference that are in the position that Memphis and FAU are in, where they enter the season of they're going to be in the NCAA tournament. They have those hopes. A lot of these teams are just playing to get better and trying to improve, maybe get an NIT or one of those other third tier conference championships. But it's just a weird position the Tigers in, but they have to go out and take care of business and win these games.
Alan Bell will join us at 3:30 like he does every Friday, coming off a great week last week when he went 5-2 on various picks, including side and total and even including a lot of props. He didn't miss so many props last week. The one he missed on, I thought, was the best bet of the weekend on the over 0.5 interceptions for Josh Allen. That was one of the few misses. He'll join us at 3:30 to talk all things wagering. At 3:45, we'll talk the Grizzlies. They're home tonight. They're home. They're on the road Sunday. So busy weekend for them. They're playing in the middle of all that Sunday afternoon too.
Wow, how about that?
They've got the Pacers Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
In downtown Indianapolis at 4:00. Bruce Marshall, as he does every Friday from Vegas Insider, and CBS Sports and BAMSports.net. He'll join us. 4:30, we talk Ty Richardson. Big weekend in Fayetteville. Mm-hmm. Just the Razorbacks are kind of the secondary figure in it. Big Blue rolls into town.
Big weekend. It's just Arkansas is watching the big weekend as well.
Yeah, they got tickets available. Kentucky rolls in. We'll talk the Razorbacks in the SEC with him at 4:45. We'll have our big number of the day at 5 o'clock. Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal on the Tiger basketball beat. He'll join us. That's presented by Jim's Place Grill every Friday. And then at 5:30, our final First National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast of the year. We'll pick the AFC and NFC championship games, and we'll see if Mr. 9-1, Johnny Hill, keeps it going on straight-up picks. He won't pick side, but he'll pick the game straight up. We'll wrap it up with Taco Bell Crunch Time at 5:45. Please come out and see us at the boat show. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're here until 6. They're here all weekend.
Yeah, they're here all weekend. Today starts it and opened up at 2 o'clock this afternoon. They'll be going to about 7 o'clock tonight. And really, really cool. You know, we were out here last year looking at all these great boats, and you know, they've got some seminars going on all weekend. They've got some people out here, you know, teaching you things you need to know. I mean, it's really a great place to be at, whether it's for beginners, you know, experience, the expert fisher out there. You know, this is a great place to be. You could learn something. You can buy a lot of great things out here. You could.
I'd starve to death if I had to fish for my food.
I probably wouldn't.
I could ride one of these big old boats.
I sure could, and you know, some people might get in trouble. They come out here and look at some of these boats and start wanting them, and man, there's some good-looking boats out here. So it's a lot of fun.
And all weekend here, and I'm glad for this event. We've been out here a lot through the years. You were here.
Yeah.
You and Jay Morgan were out here last year. It was a little bit later last year.
Yeah, it was like middle of February last year.
Yeah, because I was at Fayetteville, that long planned at Fayetteville that weekend for – what game did I see last year?
I was trying to remember that. Was it Auburn?
Florida.
That's exactly who it was.
It was Florida last year.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit earlier, and glad they got the great weekend. And this weekend we talked about the 2 conference championship games in the NFL. One in Baltimore. The Ravens host the defending champs of the AFC. That's and the champs of football hosting Kansas City and San Francisco. They're at home. They're in their 19th NFC championship game.
Incredible.
And you think of 3 of these 4 franchises. We know the notable exception. We know it's Detroit, but they're playing San Francisco. They're only in their 2nd conference championship game ever. San Francisco in 19, been to the Super Bowl 7 times, 5-2 in Super Bowls. And they've been in this game. They've been in this spot a lot.
Yeah, they have. And I mean, Sunday, I'm excited for both of these games on Sunday. And you know, we've been kind of talking about who are we for, who do we think will win, who do we, you know, want to win, and you know, I'm a little torn on all of it. And I know we're gonna, you know, make our picks later. I don't want to give my picks away, but I do think there's a team that is a underdog this weekend that I don't really want to bet against, a team that has been in this position a lot with that one, you know, star quarterback. And, you know, it's kind of the same thing that we talked about in college football with Nick Saban. I guess used to talk about in college football with Nick Saban.
How do you go against him?
It's hard. I mean, with how much success.
How do you go against Andy Reid?
That's another really good point. And just the success they've had, this core, I know you can say, and Brett, I've been the one saying it a lot lately of this Kansas City team, they're not the same. They have their receivers just aren't, you know, stepping up. They're not the same. But, you know, Brett, when you step back and you look, that same coach is there. That same quarterback is there. That same star tight end is there. It's hard to go against a core like that.
Chris Jones is still there.
You look. I was just talking about the offense. You look at the defense.
Right.
There's still a bunch of guys there on that defense that are, you know, real big players and key players. And so, you know, I think it's going to be a fun weekend. I think both these games are going to be extremely competitive. But I'm glad we're about to talk to Alan, and we're going to talk to Bruce a little bit later because I'm hoping they can help me a little bit on who I'm going to pick this weekend.
Yeah, 4.5 and 7.5. 4.5 for Baltimore over Kansas City. 7.5 for the 49ers at home at Levi's Stadium over the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
And you know, Lion fans, it's got to be a bunch of them.
Yeah.
That crossover Detroit Lion fan and Michigan Wolverines fan. Well, the Michigan through the years, they have filled a lot of really good, fun memories.
Yeah.
But to get the Lions and the Michigan in this
what a year
in this span. Those people have to be thinking it just never Who's got it better than us?
Yeah, really?
Nobody.
Nobody. No, I mean it's a great time to be a and I guess it helps out, Brett, when I guess if you're in Detroit and you're a fan of the Michigan Wolverines, you're a fan of the Detroit, all the Detroit professional teams. It helps for the Lions to have a season like this because you look at what the Pistons are doing, and they are far from being a good
lean
team.
with the Tigers.
They've been very lean with the Tigers, and so the Red Wings haven't done much in the past, and so I think it's huge to have the Lions play the way they've been playing, and now what they're doing now with a big game on Sunday will be a lot of fun. Well, we've got Alan Bell on the line from the AB3, also driving the line. He joins us every single week to talk wagering. Alan, what's going on, my man? Sorry, I can't get my words out. What's up? How's everything going over there with the AB3 and driving the line?
Man, it's fantastic, man. First off, appreciate you guys having me back. Number two, hey, You know what? It's a big weekend. I can't get my words right either. Weekend. It's all right, dude. Championship weekend, buddy.
But we have bragged on you 5-2 with us last week in this time, and one of the losses I thought was the best bet of the weekend, the Josh Allen over 0.5 interceptions. Man, he had the ball in the air. It was out there to be had all day for that interception. That was one of the few, and we love the side and total stuff, but we love the prop stuff as well, and props are really, really growing, aren't they?
Oh, huge, man. Look, hey, 5-2, we'll take that all day, and you're right. Like, I was so surprised, that Josh Allen, one, did not throw an interception, and two, losing a game when he doesn't throw an interception. Usually they don't ever lose those, right? But, you're right, man. Like, props are absolutely that's where the future of this industry is, man, because, it's almost like fantasy football on steroids, right? Like, if you know the game and you know certain, tendencies or positional groups, like, it's all about where you have an edge and can find it. You could definitely find big success doing that.
We brag on you all the time, on and off there, Alan. Last Friday, that 5-2, as I mentioned, that takes your NFL with us through 20 weeks. 20 weeks. That's a lot of games. That's a lot of Fridays and a lot of picks. You're 46-24 with us. And as I said on Monday, we were talking and bragging about you. Every one of them documented. You can go to sports56whpq.com and listen to every one of those picks. There's no thumb on the scale. That's what it is. And if it was the other way around, we'd tell that story too.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, man. I think it's just a collaboration, man, of all of us together. Look, we know what we're talking about. We're breaking down these picks together. And I'm just glad that we've all had a great season, man, and let's finish it strong.
Absolutely.
You're too kind. You're the one. All right, let's start with those games on Sunday. The first one in the AFC in Baltimore. It feels like it's very heavily the Ravens' year to do it with Lamar Jackson. He's going to be MVP. He's a great player. Ultimate team sport. I hate that he would be so defined by a loss on Sunday, but that's the cold, cruel world. Ask Dan Fouts, ask Phillip Rivers, ask Warren Moon, ask a lot of great quarterbacks that didn't get to a Super Bowl. Lamar, unfortunately, would be in that camp. How do you see that game Sunday?
Yeah, no, you're right, man. And it's tough. It's so difficult. But yeah, look, first off, I like the under in this game. I think that Baltimore and John Harbaugh are going to look at this and all week in practice have been saying, look, the best defense that we have against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes is keeping the ball. Their offense, right? Yeah. Running the football, running the clock, short passing game, and just controlling it. So I like the under. I think it's going to be very limited possessions on both sides. I don't think we're going to have a Bills-Chiefs shootout. Because, Baltimore can play in that game. Both of them can. But I don't think that they necessarily want to do that, right? So I like the under. I like Justin Tucker over 1.5 field goals for the Ravens.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, they're absolutely. Like, this is absolutely a play. He hit it last week. He hit 2 field goals. And, I mean, that's how Baltimore gets down, man, especially at home, especially in a game where every possession matters. You don't have to get 7 every time. But when you can get 3 and you get the advantage, use it. So, yeah, I like Justin Tucker in that one.
And that ties into your under, Alan. That ties into the under. Baltimore,
absolutely.
they don't mind sending Tucker out there because it's automatic. Mm-hmm. Put it on the board.
Yeah.
Andy Reid, he doesn't mind holding people to field goals.
No, heck no. And that's going to be the deal. It's going to be, let's not give up a big play. Let's not commit big, penalties on third downs. Let's, punt when we need to, right? Like, I think you're going to see two excellent this is going to be an old school football game. And I think you're going to see two excellent chess masters going against each other. So, yeah, I like the under, like the field goals. I like interceptions, honestly, for either quarterback. I think that you are going to see a point where both teams, will probably be in a place where they have to kind of push it a little bit. And I don't think that's necessarily going to be good. So I'll play them an interception on both QBs just so we have, something official on there. But if you want to play one or the other, like I don't hate either of them.
Alan, I'm curious. I've heard a lot of people after last weekend in the game Travis Kelce had just looked kind of back to his normal self after all the criticism for a lot of this season. He had a really good game last week, but a lot of people have been talking about this Ravens defense, especially when it comes to defending tight ends. They have a really good game plan around limiting tight ends. Are you looking at anything in that sense, and how would you go about playing when you see some sort of a mismatch there?
Yeah. No, I mean that's how Baltimore gets down, and especially against a team like the Chiefs, they want to take away what you do. I think if I were playing anything Kelce, because there's risk there too. That you could try to stop tight ends all you want. When it's a superstar, he can still eat you up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's still Travis Kelce. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely right. I think the best way to play him is like an anytime touchdown. Right? Like, I think that in the red zone, they'll definitely go to him and use him. I think that's a great way to look at it. I'll also say, if you're looking for an anytime touchdown on the Ravens side, Nelson Aguilar gets red zone looks every game, man, every single game. I think Lamar's a good play on that, too. Definitely can see him using his legs a ton in this game. If you're looking for anytime touchdown, Lamar would be first and then Aguilar after that. But, yeah, Kelce, anytime TD, that's a good play.
Going to that second game of the day, 5:30, Lions and 49ers out in San Francisco. Right now, 49ers a 7-point favorite, that total at 51.5. What do you like in that one?
So, let's be honest. That's a big number, all right? And what do we do with San Francisco after last week? All right, that was. I mean, quite frankly, they're kind of lucky to be here, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. Right? Like they probably should have lost that game. But we'll say this: I think that you're going to see teams, both of them, that want to start fast, especially San Francisco. Okay, because they can't play from behind again. They can't do it. Yeah, the Lions are too good, and the Lions can eat you up. All right. So I think that looking at, the 40, I quite frankly, I like the first half over. I think it's either 23.5 or 24.5, which is a big difference between those two numbers. Understand that. But I like whichever one you get it at, I like it. I think that you're going to see both teams just get after it. I like the over in this game, as weird as it sounds. They're going to have to throw everything at the wall. So I like points here. If you're looking for props, the Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown like minus 7,000. Like, can't really play it. But I'll tell you what, and we broke this down last week, and we're going to play it again. Jared Goff completes it. All right, numbers at 23.5. Play the over because look, we knew going in.
You got there last week.
Yeah, exactly right. Like Tampa has a really good run defense, right? It was going to be tough, so you have to use the short passing game as a de facto run game. San Francisco does the exact same thing. It ain't easy to run on them boys, right? So I think that you're going to see Jared Goff using short passes, safe passes. Don't make a big mistake, right? You don't have to, hit them 40, 45, 50-yarders down the field. 5 yards can get you moving the sticks and going where you want to go, right? So I do like Jared Goff completion as well.
That's a lot of props. You did say over for San Francisco and Detroit, but for both games, just old-fashioned side and totals.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, this is where we get down, man, and it's going to be where the tough part playing props. Like, be careful here, is because you can get in situations, especially in the first game, where you just have limited possessions, man. Like, they just last longer. The clock runs. They're running the football. So you don't necessarily have opportunities. Like, if you're playing, even if you're playing like a Travis Kelce, like receiving yards over, right? Like I don't know the number offhand. It's probably 60 to 70 yards, somewhere in that range, right? Like it could be tough, man, because you just don't get as many opportunities, right? So yeah, like sides and totals right here, the way to go. Now, when we start talking about the Super Bowl in the next 2 weeks, that is a completely different game to bet than anything else. It is long, and that clock, it just stays there forever, but we're not there yet.
You presented this last year, the theory, it was the first time I'd ever heard it for the Super Bowl, that nothing's static. It's always dynamic, but that the under for the game total in the Super Bowl is a great play because everybody comes out not tight, but you just don't want to lose it early. You don't want to get knocked out early, and it's made for low scoring. Everybody buying square games is winning on 3-0 and 3-3 and 7-3.
Yep, absolutely, man. And I'll tell you, we'll talk about it more, but you're spot on with that. And, another good way to play it, first drive for each team, punt. Exactly that, man. It's a different game. There's 800 million people watching you. Yeah, man. Especially if it's your first time, right? You're very nervous. You don't want to make a big mistake. Generally come out, run the football twice, try a short pass, punt. It happens all the time. So, yeah, you're spot on right there, man.
Yeah, and for either NFC team, either Detroit or San Francisco, if it's Brock Purdy or Jared Goff. Jared Goff's been in that game before and only produced 3 points in the whole game. Guarantee you his mindset's going to be, I don't want to throw that pick six in that first drive. Let's get the football a little bit. Let's play a little defense.
Yeah, 100%, man, because everybody knows what is on the line. And like you said, that is the best piece of advice for these big games is that you can't win in the first half, but you darn sure can lose it in the first half. So don't make that mistake. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Alan, before we let you go, I'm curious, we always talk a lot of Tennessee Volunteers with you when we have you on. The Vols basketball team rolling right now, number 5 in the country. They're going to be in Nashville tomorrow against Vanderbilt. There's no line yet on it, so I don't want to ask you about a pick for that. But what have you made of this season for the Volunteers? Dalton Connect comes in and has really been a solid player. What do you think about Rick Barnes' team, and how far do you think they can go this year?
Yeah, man. Connect, man. He's been the early start, right? I mean, this is Rick Barnes. This is what he does. He wins a ton of games, and he is a heck of a basketball coach. This is a good basketball team. They can go as far as they want. Now, Rick Barnes, he hasn't done as well in the postseason as he does the regular season. But I mean, this team is good, and there's no line yet. Vanderbilt, Gary Stackhouse. I don't know how much longer that's going to last. You're going to see a line that's probably 17, 16 and a half, somewhere around there. It's going to be a big one. Nothing to cover on that one, but I'll tell you this, play the over in that game, because Vanderbilt always comes out and shoots against Tennessee. They darn sure do every time. So you're going to see a lot of points. So whatever you see a total, quickly play that over, man, because they're always high scoring.
Now help me, Alan. Who is your golf analyst?
Steve Scott.
And Steve Scott's the young man that lost to Tiger in the USAM, isn't it?
Correct. Yep, that's him.
Now, boy, I don't know how to politely ask this. I probably should do it off there. Is he married to the young lady that was his caddy that weekend in the USAM 25, 30 years ago? I hope they get a happy life.
Good question, Brett. I mean,
I didn't know how to delicately put it.
Well, I mean, I think you did it as well as you could.
Look, we bet 50-50 on divorces in the United States.
That's a very good point. Good question. That's what we're here for, to ask questions.
I was pulling so hard for him that weekend because I didn't know Tiger was going and win 15 majors. But I thought it was going to be a really good life for Tiger Woods.
Oh, yeah.
And that young man, then a kid, playing it for the Florida Gators, and she's carrying his Florida Gator bag.
That's hilarious.
And I'm thinking, this is his shot at, all-time glory, and Tiger was Tiger. He never loses.
He never does. Nope, he never does, man.
So did y'all have the 20-year-old last weekend as a golf pick?
I wish. Man, that kid, he's living the life. Now what do? You turn pro,
Incredible.
You take the money, right?
You turn pro and take the money because that bat could go out with the next swing.
Sure could.
Yep. College will always be there. You can go back to it.
That's right.
He win enough money, they'll name the business department after him.
Exactly.
Oh, they definitely could. Well, Alan, it's always fun catching up with you on Fridays. Good luck this weekend. We'll do it again next week.
Man, look forward to it, boys. Y'all have a great weekend. Appreciate you having me again. Thanks.
Thank you, Alan.
Thanks,
that was a lot
Alan.
of fun. Yeah, their golf analyst, he was right there.
Yeah.
I think Tiger won 3 straight USAMs, and they were all kind of in wild style.
Wow.
And everybody knew then.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, maybe not 15, but he was going to win.
He's going to be a good
10.
player.
And not long after that was the famous Jack Nicklaus quote that he would win more Masters than Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus said he's going to win more here than me and Arnie combined.
Wow.
That was 10. But I think the old Golden Bear was playing some mind tricks.
I think
I'm
you might be right.
I'm gonna set that goal for anybody. It's almost unapproachable.
I think you're right about that.
And anyway, he ended up winning 5.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't bad.
Ain't bad.
50 winning it at the Masters, but I think Nicklaus is 6 and Palmer 4.
I think so.
I think he did that intentionally.
I think in his mind he said 6, maybe
Chase
4
did.
could
Hey,
get
big boy, chase
let's
this.
put them together and see what you got. But no, that's funny. But no, Alan Bell, always fun catching up with him. Go check out over on YouTube the AB3, also Driving the Line, their daily show. Give you picks every single weekday. A ton of fun over there. Well, let me remind you, we're out here at the Agri Center live at the Mid-South Sport and Boat Show. It's going to be here all weekend at the Agri Center. We'll be here till 6 o'clock. Come by, say hello. We're giving away prizes. We got a couple of 4-packs for Memphis and Rice next week if you want to go see the Tigers and what they can do in their next home game. Get over here. We'll be drawing later in the show, so make sure you stop by and register to win. But on the other side, we're going to talk some Grizzlies basketball, and we'll do that next on Sports Time.
Hey, y'all, it's the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, January 26th through the 28th at the Agri Center. Come buy your new boat and make some memories at the lake this summer with family and friends. Premier dealers showcasing the newest ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats, with huge show specials. Enter your chance to win daily door prizes. It's all at the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, January 26th through the 28th. For more info, go to memphisboatshow.com. That's memphisboatshow.com.
At the Agri Center.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Johnny, do you have us? You got us? All right, we don't hear anything.
We're back here at the boat show at the Agri Center, live from the Agri Center for the Mid-South Boat and Sport and Boat Show, and we're about to be joined by Jan Hamilton to talk about everything going on here this weekend at the boat show, the 60th annual Sport and Boat Show here at the Agri Center. They'll be here all week, and get over here right now. We'll be here from 3 to 6, but they'll be out here all weekend long. They've got so many great boats and different type of accessories for your boat, and also a lot of seminars for the week. So they're going to be out here today 2 till 8 p.m., Saturday 9 a.m. till 7 p.m., and then Sunday 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So they're here all weekend long. Adults, $10 to get in. Children ages 12 and under, they get in for free. They've also got a discount for seniors and military, only $5 to get in all weekend long. So a really good prices out here to get in all weekend long, and it's going to be a ton of fun. Well, like I said, we are talking with Jan Hamilton. Jan, can you hear us? We got you?
We do.
Awesome. Jan, how are you? We are so glad to be out here again. I remember talking with you last week, but what can people expect coming out here this year?
60th annual.
60th annual, yeah.
We are so excited to bring this back to the community. You know, people say it's January, Jan. We just had a 0-degree weather. Why are you selling boats? This is the time. Come on out here. We've got deals on everything. Now, we're not just boats, and if we got a minute, I want to run down just a few. I've got Barletta. I've got Cobalt. I've got Malibu. I've got Manitou. You name it, Mastercraft, Chris Craft. Did y'all know that Chris Craft, this is their 150th year?
Wow.
I mean, we've got Centurion, Yamaha, Supreme, Skeeter bass boats, catfish boats. We've got duck boats. You need a boat, you come see me. I got boats. You need a side-by-side. Maybe you need a mule. You need a Sea-Doo. You need a wave runner. Whatever it has to do with outside fun, we've got it this weekend.
You've got more than you had last year.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh, we are sold out. We are excited about that because people are ready to get out and do something.
And last year we were still kind of, air quotes here, coming out of COVID. No longer. We're out of it.
Oh, we are out of it, and as you know, during that was the only thing you could really go do that somebody didn't fuss at you about was grab a boat and get on the water. Well, you come on by, and we're going to put you in a brand new whatever you need boat-wise.
There were a few idiots wearing a mask on the lake, but not many.
Not a ton, no. Jan, I remember last year we were talking about the seminars y'all had out here, and I know y'all have got a lot of great seminars this year, and really, I remember you telling us last year that it doesn't matter if you're a beginner and just experienced and expert at it, that you can find something at these seminars. What kind of seminars do you have this year?
Oh my, we've got everything from fishing. We're going to be talking about crankbaits. We're going to be talking about casting. Oh. Now, as you know, when I grew up in the dark ages, we had a bamboo pole. Honey, we have got some poles out here that are so lightweight, you don't even know you're holding that pole. But that fish is going to know when you catch it.
Yeah.
Cork's still the key.
That's a fact.
We've got people coming in and talking about fishing the National Professional League. I've got springtime crappie fishing coming up. You know, that's a big deal. we've got electronics. I don't know about you, but on our pontoon, there's more dials than who knows what they go to. Well, we're going to explain that to you. And all of these seminars are included in your admission.
Oh, wow.
So this is something free that you get when you just come out here to the show.
And you're here all weekend.
We're here all weekend. We want everybody to come by and see us. We're here tonight till 7. Tomorrow is 9 to 7, and then Sunday is 10 to 5.
Well, Jan, thank you so much for joining us. This is so much fun. I'm glad that we're out here, and hopefully we can be out here again next year.
We'll be looking for y'all.
Thank you,
Jan. That Jan Hamilton, she is with us. Get out here to the Agri Center, the Sport and Mid-South Sport and Boat Show. It's out here, like she said, at the Agri Center all weekend long. They'll be here till 7 p.m. tonight, so you've still got some time to get over here tonight. But if you can't, get over here tomorrow, get over here Sunday. The prices are good to get in. Like she said, seminars all weekend long, so you can get out here, look at the boats, check everything out, and then learn something while you're out here. So it's a lot of fun. Bring the entire family, and you'll definitely have a blast. Well, we need to go ahead and get to a break, wrap up our first hour. When we come back to start our 4 o'clock hour, we're going to talk some more wagering with Bruce Marshall.
Do you want a greener, more weed-free lawn? If you're like me, you can't stand the sight of dandelions, clover, or especially crabgrass. Hi, I'm Brandon Hawley, president of Lawn Solutions. We are your locally owned and operated weed control and fertilization company. We are also experts in disease and insect control on your lawn and landscape. Our uniformed technicians are full-time, year-round licensed and certified by the state of Tennessee. Lawn Solutions' personalized service is far more superior to that of national companies that promise but simply cannot deliver. We return phone calls, we keep appointments, and we want your business. What we will not do is bother you with endless phone calls or junk mail. Lawn Solutions will not sell you something your lawn doesn't need. If you're looking for a local lawn care company to kill your weeds and feed your grass, then Lawn Solutions is the finest. Call us at 867-5626. That's 867-5626. Or go online at lawnsolutionsinc.net. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for your business.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your buddy Johnny Radio. I'm here with Mark, the owner of Dyer's, out in Collierville's historic town square, where they've been cooking up them burgers since 1912, the old-fashioned way. Mark, what's going on in life? I see you got your 4 kids with you. What do they love about Dyer's?
Man, they love everything about Dyer's. They love all the great food that we serve, and they really like eating our good food and watching some of their favorite sports.
Braden, what do you like at Dyer's?
I like a bacon burger with fries, a milkshake, and with a Tigers game in the background.
Carter, who's your favorite football team?
The Carolina Panthers, and just with some macaroni with that sounds amazing.
My man Beckham, what's your favorite food over at Dyer's?
We like the double cheeseballs.
Kinley, what is your favorite dish over at Dyer's?
Daddy's cheeseburgers and the Dallas Cowboys game in the background.
Just remember, everybody, bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team out and eat at our place.
So head on over to Dyer's in Collierville's historic town square.
If that sound gives you nightmares, there's a cheap and easy way to avoid engines not firing. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Pour Stable in your gas can or directly into the tank of your car, truck, hybrid, boat, ATV, motorcycle, or lawnmower to prevent fuel-related engine problems that cost time and money. When you store, start with Stable.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Got a little bit heavy a few minutes ago on 240 going southbound there around Norris from an earlier problem we had with a stalled vehicle. It's been slow on and off today on 55 northbound in that construction zone as we started live 55 north, especially here up by South Parkway. Still not too bad on 240 east from Middle Branch all the way out to 385. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. I'm talking about Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. They're online at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Joining the guys every Friday is college football historian and Vegas legend Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insiders, CBS Sports, and his own website, bamsports.net. With over 30 years on Memphis radio, with handicapping and sports talk, here's Bruce Marshall with Bryant and Brett.
Bruce Marshall joins us now from Vegas Insiders, CBS Sports, and bamsports.net. A lot to get into with him, especially with these conference championship games going on in the NFL. Bruce, thanks so much for joining us. Real excited to talk about some of these games. But I want to start off with some of the games that happened last weekend in the NFL. And specifically, I think what a lot of people would say was the game of the weekend, and that was the Chiefs-Bills. It ended the weekend for us, and the Chiefs escaped with a 27-24 win. What did you make of that game? And I feel like I've heard a lot this year of people saying this Kansas City team is not the same as it's been in the past. I found myself saying the same thing with some of their receivers maybe not playing up to the level that we expect them to play at. But when you look at this team and now back into the conference championship game, I mean, were we just wrong, or can you just never bet against a guy like Patrick Mahomes?
A little bit of everything, and I don't think you're wrong. Or not, I was saying the same things you guys were, and during the regular season, they looked beatable many weeks, and they lost several games this season, and that was for just what you said. The offense wasn't quite moving the same. The wideouts weren't quite as potent. They haven't really been the same since Tyreek left, and the running. The pass protection wasn't as good this year either. So Mahomes had to do it a little bit differently. It's a little bit more intermediate, short stuff. They didn't have quite the same electricity as they've had in past years, but they can still be effective because Mahomes can still control a game with his ability to maneuver and to make those short and intermediate passes. And they run the ball fairly effectively with Pacheco. But I think, as we've seen, a real difference for the Chiefs is that this is the best defense, I think, arguably the best defense they've had in the Andy Reid era. Give Steve Spagnuolo some credit, but they've played a lot of games under. That one just snuck over last week, but they're tough to beat. And a lot of people made so much of Mahomes on the road winning playoff games. He had won 2 Super Bowls at neutral sites. So it's not like he's won every game's been an Arrowhead in his playoff career. And there were some doubts for Mahomes just because of that, which I thought was foolhardy. We liked the Chiefs last week. I thought it'd be a little lower scoring, but they still pulled it out late, and here they are again.
And Bruce, you had a great week last week picking with us. You were 4-2 to take your NFL season total to 40-29. That's 579. We love that. I know you do. And you're right about Mahomes. The questions around him last week on the road, well, the big factor on the road in Buffalo is the adaptability to cold. Well, he's had that. He just played in one of the record cold games, including the last weekend of the year when the fans died in the snow there in Kansas City. I mean, it's that cold there. So he's used to that. And his escapability, you could argue, won them the Super Bowl last year. It was almost as much his legs than his arm.
Yeah, he's obviously the great equalizer here. I mean, you can do a lot of things right against the Chiefs, but you have to account for him. And he's always capable of coming up with a play. And it doesn't always have to be a long touchdown. And like we said, this is not quite the same offense without Tyreek, but it's still good enough with Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And the poise, too. I mean, you just got the feeling if they had a chance with the ball to win the game, they would. And at the end, they did punch out that last first down on the ground there. Though it was getting a little hairy, they needed the defense to make a stop and then hold their breath with Bass on the field goal. By the way, I think we mentioned that last week, that Bass could end up being a negative there for Buffalo, and field goal kicking would be an edge for Kansas City in that game, and it was. So that's the other thing. Butker never missed a kick. Now, he doesn't have an edge this week because Tucker never missed a kick the other way either, but Kansas City's never at a disadvantage when it comes down to field goals for sure.
Can any fan base be more horrified by the term wide right than Buffalo?
Oh, man.
No, unless it's Florida State from the long ago. I'm not sure if that was wide left.
Good one.
A couple of those.
FSU
but
could against Miami.
Yes, but no, I mean, maybe, Norwood is off the hook a little bit now that Tyler Bass will be there. But we mentioned that last week. I mean, we had seen him struggle against Pittsburgh the week before when he duck-hooked a very makeable field goal, had another one blocked, and his extra points were barely sneaking inside the upright. So, I mean, his confidence had been shot. And when that happens to a kicker, I mean, Carlson from Green Bay missed a few too many kicks. Kicking has come up big in the postseason, and it's no surprise, at least on the AFC side. You got, two teams that have the best kickers left, and that's something to think about when we get to the Super Bowl, too, because whoever they play, whoever comes out of the AFC is going to have a place kicker edge in the Super Bowl for sure.
They sure will, because both of them, just you can put it on the board. Do you think the field goal kicking, place kicking, has been affected by the extra point kicking, backing it up, and I think filling NFL kicker psychiatric offices everywhere with backing up the extra point and those not being as 100% as they used to?
I think perhaps so. I think somebody mentioned this to me not long ago, because field goal kicking it's kind of interesting. We're having some guys missing field goals. I think it's nerves and things like that. It had become a little bit too automatic, I think. Yeah. I mean, 52-yard field goals are just routine now. And somebody said it's because it's the inflating of the balls. They've inflated the footballs a little bit too much, and maybe they shouldn't, and field goals shouldn't be that easy. And I think the inflation of the footballs where they're at now has helped, and they're a little more inflated than they were a few years ago. And that's helping the kickers, and maybe that's something to look at in the future. But I'm nitpicking there, especially after we saw some guys miss key field goals here in the last 2 weeks.
And, Bruce, we know in college that those kickers, they have a ball, especially when you're home team and you control most of the footballs in play. They have a ball that they prefer to kick. And in the 70s, when those Southwest Conference kickers like Russell Ertzleben, Tony Franklin, Steve Little at Arkansas, when they were all making those 60-yard bombs like it was a layup, Bruce, they all had I know this for a fact, they all had a gentleman's agreement with each other. Run the ball in there you want and kick it. And Steve Little had a ball and he was great. I'm not diminishing him. The late Steve Little, I'm not diminishing him. But he had a ball he preferred to kick, And when they were at home, they would get that ball in play, and if you got that sucker in the air, it was good from 60.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and they talked about that a lot in the old days. I mean, the Raiders talked about that with the Raiders when they were punting with Ray Guy. That was something that came up a long time ago. So it could happen. I mean, it helps kickers if you've got the balls more inflated, that's for sure.
I'm curious, before we get to these games this weekend, the news came out, Bill Belichick, it seemed like everyone thought he was going to get that Falcons job.
The door slammed in his face.
It really did, and they go Raheem Morris, they go in a different direction, go a younger coach, a defensive coordinator that will get his first shot as head coach. What was your reaction to that move, and what's next for Bill Belichick? Could you see him skipping a year, sitting out a year, and then coming back at his age? That seems like it could be a factor, but what do you think is next for Bill Belichick?
Well, Brian, it looks like he'll have no choice if he wants to come back. I'm not sure where anything else is open for him right now. And one other note, Raheem Morris has been a head coach before, 3 years, not too successful with the Bucs.
That's right.
You know, I wonder in what world is Raheem Morris a better pick than Belichick or Mike Vrabel? It astounds me. But Belichick, I think there were some other things working there within the Falcon organization. Perhaps Richie McKay, who's still the team president there, and Arthur Blank still has these guys in place, and a lot of them weren't ready to hand over the reins to Belichick, which Belichick wanted. So I could understand Belichick being a hard fit into some organization. He wants to come in there and have control, and I'm not sure that was going to come his way at Atlanta. I think there were better candidates than Morris out there that could have looked for it. But so be it. We'll see what happens. But, I guess for Belichick, if he wants to try it again, he might have to wait till next year because it doesn't look like that's the way Washington is looking, and I'm not sure what else is going to come open out. They're filling all these jobs as we speak.
Bruce, on the whole windows opening, windows shutting, we're constantly reminded by a good friend of ours that joins us on Thursday on the NBA. He always talks about it's never as wide open as most of the fan base and the media thinks it is. It's usually more narrow. For Buffalo, this version of window opening, is it now shutting?
It's closer to shutting than it was a year or two ago.
Well, that means it ain't wide open then.
Yeah, and it's I think Allen is still in his prime. So they've got a few years with him, but it's everything else around him. And you wonder about Sean. Is Sean McDermott the guy to get them over the hump? Now, I think Buffalo is closer than Dallas is, and whether you've got a Super Bowl ready team, I don't think Jerry does in Dallas, and he seems to think he does. Buffalo, I think, realistically does, and maybe you think about McDermott. Is he the guy to push them over the hump? They're close to being in the same spot. I mentioned this last week to Brian on the show, where Denver was with John Fox after Peyton Manning's first 3 years. And John Elway, one of the few things he was correct about when he was running the Broncos from a personnel side was he thought this team can win the Super Bowl. He didn't think they could win it with Fox. So he said, I think we can win it with Kubiak, and it was Wade Phillips, who I think was more responsible for that Super Bowl win. But he thought they needed a change to get over the hump, and Fox wasn't going to win the Super Bowl for him. Buffalo's going to have to ask that question about McDermott. I know he's got a great record, and he's in the playoffs, and he's been winning the division in recent years. But if you want to win the Super Bowl, if that's your goal, do you think you can do it with him? That's the question Buffalo has to ask itself.
Bruce, on the Jerry Jones maybe deluding himself of how close they are. And we see this a lot in sports. And, Bruce, I know you've seen it some in political campaigns. Those advisors, whether it's assistant coaches or political Svengali's, they're always telling that boss, oh, man, we're right there. We're within striking distance. Now, a lot of them say, now, if you spend another $100,000 with the ad agency that I'm making about 20% off of, you can really get over the top. Mm-hmm. Don't you think he may have a cabinet, a room full of people knowing we can tell this guy all year we're close when we know we're not really close?
Could be. It's very possible. And they're telling Jerry what he wants to hear. Because Jerry signs off on everything. And I think that could definitely be true. And that's just, sort of human nature. And they say, well, we'll just make Jerry think he's really close, and he'll be less reluctant to do that. Now, there was a time when Jerry was a lot more, he wasn't this patient. And that's partly, Jerry does seem the sort that would like to have guys around him who agree with him. And that's what has, I think, happened in Dallas, and why and I don't think they're that close. I really don't. And Jerry seems to think that, but Jerry's thought that for a long time. He thought that with Garrett, too, and with Jason Garrett and with Romo.
Sure did.
And they really weren't that close then either, but he kept thinking they were. And it's been a long time with Dallas, so I think
they
might be right,
closer
Brett.
now.
Maybe
Bruce,
so, yeah.
I knew a man that was a very prominent attorney. And in the late 60s, you will remember this, Coach Bryant, after that first initial domination at Alabama, he hit a lull in the late 60s, and things weren't going well. Lost to Gator Bowl to Missouri, tied Oklahoma in a Bluebonnet Bowl, lost to Gene Stallings in a Cotton Bowl. And he was afraid that his assistant coaches were telling him what he wanted to hear. So unbeknownst to them, he hired this man. He goes, I want you to scout my games. They don't know you're around. You give me a legit read. And at the end of the year, or at some point during the year, he went in and said, Coach Bryant, your talent is very deficient. It's nowhere near what it was, and these guys are blowing smoke. And that's when he made a lot of staff changes and ideology changes with the offense.
Well, that's true. And he went to the Wishbone in 71. Remember that Liberty Bowl against Colorado, too, and Bobby Anderson ran over them.
I was there.
So
yeah.
You were there, yeah. And that was like, 4 years in a row they didn't win.
47-33.
Yep, 47-33. And then they tie Oklahoma the next year. One other note, though. I mean, breaking the color barrier became imperative at that point. And
sure did.
That was the other thing Alabama did, and was already starting before that game with USC, by the way. So I think he realized that, and they saw that, and switching to the Wishbone in 71. I mean, that was a major deal, and then that success in the 70s followed.
Talking to Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. Let's get to some of these games this week, and I guess the only 2 games this weekend in the NFL. Let's start with that first one.
We're going to get some crazy Sunday. Basketball.
Oh, yeah, we've got to. But first, we got to get to these NFL games. AFC Championship, Chiefs-Ravens, 2 o'clock here locally in Memphis on Sunday. Right now, Baltimore, a 4-point favorite. That total sitting at 44.5. What do you like in that one, Bruce?
I like Kansas City. I don't buy that the Ravens are unbeatable, and you're hearing all this talk about. I know Lamar played a good game last week, and I'm sort of willing to accept. It was 3 years since his previous playoff failure. He hadn't played a playoff game in 3 years, and he looked good last week. But I mean, it wasn't long ago I saw the Browns go into Baltimore and legitimately beat the Ravens. That wasn't that long ago. Yeah. They are not unbeatable. Houston was vulnerable, and we ended up liking Baltimore last week because we weren't sure Houston could punch back with them, and sure enough, they couldn't. Kansas City's different. I mean, they're resilient as heck. That defense is legit. They saw a mobile quarterback last week, and Allen hurt them some. But Spagnuolo is very clever, and I have a feeling he'll at least try to keep Lamar in check. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, Baltimore is really good when the opposing team can't control Lamar on his runs. So I think it pretty much comes down to that. And from that, everything else revolves for Baltimore. But I'm not going to bet against Mahomes, and I do think this is the best Kansas City defense we've seen. So of the Reid era, I think the Chiefs can win this thing. 22-19, my score forecast. And that might be Butker kicking a bunch of field goals, but if that's what it takes, I think the Chiefs will do it.
So you're just putting out the +4. Do you want to take money line?
Yeah, you could. I think you could. Nice, decent price, but 4 is not bad, so you can go there if you want a little half bet then on the money line. Might not be bad either.
Yeah. I like that. The second and final game, the NFC Championship game, Lions and 49ers at Levi Stadium. Right now, 49ers a whole touchdown favorite, 7-point favorite. The 49ers are. That total sitting at 51.5. What do you like in that one?
Yeah, there's a few 7.5s out there now, too, and that bumped up a little bit yesterday when there was word Debo actually showed up at practice, though he didn't on Wednesday. He did yesterday. He didn't do much, but, I mean, he was at practice and practicing. So I think that had a little bit to do with the bump. And that's an important thing for the 49ers because I think they are a much different offense when Debo's there. We talked about that in the regular season. When he went out is when they slumped late October there, early November. They lost a game at Cleveland, the Minnesota game, no Debo. They struggled some last week without him. He stretches the field. He is their most valuable receiver. I don't want to say most valuable player because the drop from Purdy to Darnold is significant, and no McCaffrey would be rough. But from the receiving standpoint, he's more important than Ayuk or Kittle. So it's important he's there, and we're not 100% sure that he is. However, one other note, I mean, San Francisco has failed to cover 6 straight games at Santa Clara. That is assuming that's kind of a loss against the Bucs in late November, a game that early in the week, if you've been on the 49ers, you would have won, but the line moved, and the Ram game the last regular season when the guys all rested. But the numbers are what they are. Nonetheless, I think this is when Detroit gets unmasked this weekend. They've had a really exciting run here, but there's 2 games that really bother me for them. And 3, actually, but one is Baltimore, when they got boat raced at Baltimore. The next one, the same thing almost happened against the Bears in Chicago. The Bears almost got them at home, too. Let's see what happens when they're playing a game outdoors on the road and things don't go well. Kansas City is resilient enough to overcome that, and last week the 49ers overcame that. But I still think Detroit was fortunate to get by the Rams in the first round. Now they're out on the road. Their pass defense is leaky. This is why if Debo, now this is mostly, I'm assuming Debo's going to play. If Debo plays, the Niners win this game by 2 touchdowns. So that's going to be my prediction. 34-20 San Francisco. I think it might get over the total a little bit, but I'll keep it just as a recommendation on the Niners side. We'll see what happens.
Bruce, are we certain Brock Purdy is improvement over Jimmy Garoppolo?
They are in San Francisco, and I think he is. How much, I'm not quite sure. What he can do, Garoppolo can work within the system, but he can't really improvise things, and Purdy can do that. Maybe not as consistently, and he's still young, but the important thing is the Niners think he's a big upgrade, and that's why they were pretty quick to make that decision. And there were some financial reasons, too, where it's not costing as much, but they're convinced
but
that
some
Purdy
of the
is a
shine's
better
off
option.
Purdy, isn't it?
What's that?
Absolutely. Well,
some of the shine's off Brock Purdy, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, a little bit from and struggle, but they did. See, I'm of the opinion, though, they found a way to pull that thing out. Green Bay was hot, and that game last week was not going well for San Francisco. You find a way to pull that out. It doesn't work that way for all the quarterbacks all the time. Now, we're only talking 2 years of work for Purdy, and a little over a season plus actually for him. So yeah, he's got to establish himself a little bit more. But I came out actually thinking, you know what? They found a way to win that game last week, and that was good.
Yeah. Bruce, I know really no lines at all out for any of the college basketball games tomorrow. A very limited slate tonight in college basketball. Is there anything you like tonight or any games that you're kind of keeping an eye on when those lines drop for tomorrow?
Yeah, 3 tonight. I might look over in that MAC game between Ohio U and Kent State. Both teams a little bit disappointing, but they've both been trending over. St. Bonaventure at home, I think it's St. Joe's tonight. They've beaten St. Joe's 5 straight times in Olean by double digits each time. It's a better St. Joe's team this year, but I think St. Bonaventure gets them. And in the Battle of the Bay Area, I take Cal over Stanford tonight in Berkeley. Cal's not all that bad, and some of the transfers have really started to kick in, including Amac, the big 6'11" kid. He will be a problem for Stanford in the paint. Tomorrow, there's one that's jumping at me. You got Kentucky off a loss. You got Arkansas, which is going down the drain really quick. The number's not going to be prohibitive in Fayetteville, but I am going to lay the price with Kentucky. I think this could get really ugly tomorrow, just like it got for Arkansas the other night with Ole Miss. And Brett was there, and he saw it. He told me, he said, Ole Miss is going to get them, and they sure did. And I think Kentucky does the exact same thing. I think this is going so bad for Arkansas right now. It's a disaster. And Kentucky could, off a loss like that, they could really lay a licking at them.
When the Arkansas people are telling you at the hotel, we're going to get double knot smoke tonight, you can count on a smoking.
Yeah, and they were smoked the other night, too. But this is
tonight in
bad
Berkeley. Will there be any ceremony? Because the next time these two teams play in Berkeley, they'll be members of the Atlantic Coast Conference.
That's right.
Do they even realize that in Berkeley?
I'm not sure they realize anything in Berkeley other than the stuff they normally do. But we realize it, and Mark Madsen realizes it, and so does Jared Haas. I'll guarantee you that.
We're looking out for him, aren't we?
That's right. Well, Bruce, before we let you go, where can people find more of you?
Yeah, check my picks out on VegasInsider.com. Hey, the NBA is going really good for us. We were 3-0 last night, so we got that. Got some colleges tonight, NHL, and some football for this weekend too. So all my picks always VegasInsider.com. You can also read my stuff at some picks too. CBS Sportsline, Sportsline.com. Once in a while up there at CBS Sports HQ as well.
Well, Bruce, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck this weekend, and we'll do it again next Friday.
Okay, guys. Thank you much.
Thanks, you, Bruce.
Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. Always fun getting some picks from him on a Friday afternoon. Well, we are late for a break. Let's go ahead and take that. And when we come back, we're going to talk some Razorbacks. We just mentioned about that bad loss against Ole Miss. We'll see how Ty's feeling on the other side next. We're talking to Ty Richardson.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, folks. Bob Burkhammer, Sunrise Buick GMC truck. Going to start out the new year buying a new or used car or truck. Remember, the selection's better and the savings are bigger at Sunrise. Acres of new cars and trucks to choose from. A $5 million used car inventory of late model GM certified cars and trucks. And remember, Sunrise specializes in cars and trucks under $99.95. Don't forget, Sunrise has a financing plan for everybody and specializes in secondary financing. The #1 volume Buick and GMC dealer in the Mid-South. Sunrise, where saving you money is just the way of doing business, partner. Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the new Callaway AI Smoke Driver. The new AI Design Club has multiple sweet spots across the face, making it an average of 7 yards longer than the prior model. Visit us in-store for a free custom fitting at your local Edwin Watts Golf Shops or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Is your home still not warm enough or running out of hot water? Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, and we've got exciting news for you. Introducing Choate's Carrier Repair Buyback Program. If you've had HVAC or water heater repairs in the past year, you're in luck. Choate's will credit your repair costs up to $1,500 with a brand new HVAC or tankless water heater system. Yep, you heard right. Just bring your repair invoice from the last 365 days and get ready to upgrade your home's comfort. Say goodbye to those chilly nights and inconsistent heating. Choate's has you covered with various low-payment financing plans, making your upgrade more affordable than ever. Imagine a more efficient and reliable system keeping your family cozy all winter long. And here's the best part. This offer is a substantial boost towards a state-of-the-art heating solution. Ready to take the next step? Schedule your free estimate by calling 347-8086. And remember, turn to the experts with Choate's and let our family serve your family.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Sports 56 Traffic.
Good afternoon. Looks pretty good right now over here in the Midtown area on I-40 up by Chelsea. It's clear at the moment as we stare at it live. I-40 westbound across the bridge, headed back over into Arkansas, into West Memphis. Still not too bad on 240, at least for now, as you travel between Mill Branch and 385 Bill Morris Parkway. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525. Highway 64 is your Valentine's Day headquarters. Shop local this Valentine's season. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Time to talk Razorbacks on Sports Time. Joining the guys is Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas to talk all things Hogs and SEC. On Twitter X at Ty Sports Radio, here's Ty Richardson with Bryant and Brett.
Come on, all you Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those Hogs!
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. We're live out here at the Agri Center for the Mid-South Sport and Boat Show. Always so much fun being out here. Get out here. I mean, there's so many. We're surrounded by just beautiful boats, all types of boats.
Summer.
I mean, really, and it's perfect. The weather out there is looking good, and it's a perfect time after all of that
one of
cold.
these big old boats.
He sure
get out
does.
on Beaver Lake next summer in northwest Arkansas.
Ty, what's going on, my man?
Man, that sounds like a match made in paradise. I love Arkansas. If you need anything about Arkansas, is you got Beaver Lake in northwest Arkansas, Lake Hamilton, Lake Hamilton and Ouachita near Hot Springs. Got Greer's Ferry. There's just a lot of great lakes here across the natural state.
Mm-hmm. You sure do, Ty. And one time I was asked, I was on with David Basil and that crew at the Buzz, and I don't know how it got around to it. They said, name your favorite lake, and I swear I said Beaver. From in college up there, a good friend of mine his family had literally, his dad developed Beaver Lake and it had one of the great houses, and it's the forgotten Great Lake of Arkansas.
Yeah.
That's great. I still to this day will never understand how you know every important / prominent person inside the state. I mean, you went to that freshman camp with Marcus Elliott. I mean, Brian, you would be shocked at like the names I'd rattle off of people I know of, and then
I believe it.
And Stats will just be like, "Yeah, I had this with him, or I did this with him, or oh yeah, we were classmates together." I'm just like, goodness gracious.
I can tell you my favorite Marcus Elliott story. Marcus Elliott, who sometimes helps out at the Buzz and on Razorback coverage, played for the Razorbacks. He is my age, and we went to Bowie State together the summer before our freshman year at Fayetteville, and then we're real tight from that. And he played, and all these college all-star games are going on now, and he played in the Hula Bowl out in Honolulu, and brought me back a great button from it that I'll send a picture of it and show it to you, because it was really something back then to play in the Hula Bowl. And I want to say way back when, maybe first MVP of the Hula Bowl maybe was Lance Allworth from Arkansas.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Bambi. That is a name that a lot of Arkansas fans are familiar with. Bambi was his nickname, Brian. He's
a great nickname.
Best nickname.
Now, help me on this guy. Was he Stats? Was he a Louisiana or Mississippi boy? I can't remember. I say
no.
Boy, I mean
Brookhaven, Mississippi. And
okay.
That's when Ole Miss was kings of college football. But Coach Vaught would not accept married players, and he was already married. And Frank Broyles said, "I'll take him." And he was trying to get his program going. And a couple of years after that, Coach Vaught relaxed that policy because it was a big missing out on Lance Allworth from Brookhaven, Mississippi, and he was the first AFL player ever inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ty Richardson, our guest from ESPN Arkansas. In western Arkansas and northwest Arkansas, Fort Smith, Fayetteville, across the Arkansas River Valley, and Ty tomorrow. But the Razorbacks at 10-9, I guess if you can beat Duke, you can beat Kentucky. Is that what you got to kind of count on?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you're going to try and find solace in something, I guess it would be that. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm trying.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow could be a bloodbath, guys, and I hope it's not the case because I'm going, and I really don't want to watch 2 hours of abysmal basketball. We know Arkansas and Kentucky, despite Arkansas a lot of times being the underdog, has found a way to compete. They're going to have to tomorrow because Kentucky is going to come in white angry. I mean, just fuming angry after what happened in Columbia earlier this week. So they better be ready or Kentucky will blow their doors off tomorrow night.
Well, I know injuries have been an issue, especially with that game against Ole Miss. Tremont Mark didn't play in that game against Ole Miss because of migraine. Trevon Brazil missed the entire second half with knee soreness. They kind of ruled it as. We know he had that ACL injury last year. Khalif Battle exited the game, but then came back late in the second half. Where are we from an injury standpoint? What have you heard going into tomorrow's game?
I think Battle's going to be okay. I bet Mark and Brazil will play. That's just my guess. I haven't. Musselman had a press conference earlier today, and I haven't had a chance to listen to it just yet. But I wouldn't. I'm just going to go off the guess that they will both play tomorrow because I think they were both really iffy for this past game.
And then I also noticed I didn't get to catch that game, and I really kicked myself the other day because I wanted to watch it, Ole Miss and Arkansas, and I didn't know it was on ESPNU. I was checking out all these other games. I was bouncing around and didn't even know it was on ESPNU. But I did notice, and I saw a lot of people write about it that cover the team, but Devo Davis did not play at all in the second half, only played about 7 or 8 minutes in the first half. What is going on there with Devo Davis, and what has been the issue? Has it been effort? Has it been what's the matter with Devo Davis and his playing time being limited?
There's been a disconnect all season there, and I think it's been really frustrating for fans because they don't know what's going on. Muss hasn't elaborated what's going on. Devo doesn't get interviewed each week. And I think fans just want to know, hey, what's the deal? What does he need to play? Why is he benched? Or what gets him going? It's been frustrating because he hasn't necessarily materialized to the player that thought he was going to be senior year, I think, from a fan's perspective. And, again, there's so many things that get said when stuff happens like this, and I don't know what to believe because no one's open about it. It's a very short answer from Muss, like he said, coach's decision on when. I don't blame him. I mean, if he wants to keep it his house, that's his prerogative. But that's just kind of what the radio host and the fan base just left the time to talk about from there, Brian.
Ty, for Eric Musselman, look, I don't think this should be forgotten at all, and sure shouldn't be discounted. 2 Elite Eights and a Sweet 16 in the last 3 years. Okay, you have a major stumble when I and many others thought they had a loaded team, but it showed the inconsistent signs early with was it Wilmington or Asheville?
It was Wilmington.
Wilmington, with the loss to UNC Wilmington, and that was the bad. Wasn't great in the Bahamas, but then the good with Duke, but then you're so inconsistent, and I think the portal finally.
Maybe it wasn't Wilmington. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was one of the UNCs.
It was one of the
UNCs.
And the portal got Eric Musselman. It's going to get a lot of people across college football and college basketball, and it just takes a couple of losses for that checkout factor to set in to very nomadic players, and I'm being kind in describing them as nomadic. But Eric Musselman, you don't think he's getting restless to want to get out of there, do you?
That's the question that people are standing behind closed doors that are Arkansas basketball fans because as disappointed as they are about this season, they do wonder. I mean, there's a couple jobs. I haven't looked at UCLA lately. At one point, Mick Cronin was not having a good year. Neither was Andy Enfield for USC. Arizona job's not popping open anytime soon. You just wonder. Louisville's probably. I mean, there's several destinations that are either out west is more to his liking. That's something to just keep an eye on. And then, I mean, I think Louisville and Arkansas are pretty comparable jobs, even though Louisville's had more early or late success. I know Arkansas's been to the Sweet 16s and the Elite Eights that you just mentioned, but Louisville's won national championship under Pitino. So I don't know where his head is at. Danielle, his wife, and Mariah, his young daughter, seem to like Fayetteville. He's got 2 sons on the staff currently. Both have graduated from college. So, I mean, I would guess he's pretty mobile if he chooses to do so. I know Arkansas fans would be sad to see him leave. The ones that are angry right now would be the same ones that were furious that he's gone. Just how it is, I guess, guys.
Yeah.
And with football season and now this in basketball, is it safe to say the most anticipated opening afternoon, opening night for DVH for Dave Van Horn ever? And that puts even more pressure on him, even though he's been, one of the all-timers. That's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. And I know some people, when they say that the sports are separate, they are. There's truth to that, but the fan base cheers for all three. And so when one has a really bad year in football, then you multiply it with what's basketball. And again, there's 12 conference games. We'll see what happens, but right now it doesn't look good. And then the basket and the baseball, be it a preseason top 5 team. Here's the other thing you got to think about stats. And you know this. Your nickname stats. 64, 94, 20, 24. I've been on that stand for like a year now.
Sure have.
They wanted football in 64, basketball in 94, so it sets up the baseball one in 24. And hopefully I'm in Omaha on June the 26th, 27th when they win the Game 3 on Monday night or whenever that is.
I like that optimism, and it's well founded. It sure can happen, and if that happens, then for kind of Razorback Incorporated, for people that a great fan base that want to put that gear on around the 4th of July and wear it all the way to around about to the next 4th of July with football, basketball, and baseball, that would satisfy them. Yeah. All wells that ends well. That's a lot of pressure, though, on Dave Van Horn, and I'm not saying him, but they haven't handled that in Omaha that well.
No, you're right. Yeah, I mean, you'd see hog polos across the Redneck Riviera if Arkansas won, and there'd be more Arkansas signage, flags, and everything else than you probably ever seen in your life in the United States. Because people, especially, and I think what it would do is, I think it would make up to a certain extent the basketball and football seasons, and potentially sink some money in NIL. I saw that Ole Miss just added 2 offensive linemen from
That's
Washington.
a great point.
I mean, so I know it's baseball, and it's of the 3 sports in Arkansas, it's the 3rd in the pecking order. But then people are like, okay, let's get re-energized. Let's get going. We like this feeling. Let's see what we can help out for football and basketball. Because I mean, Lane Kiffin is showing you the formula. You win, people invest, and I wouldn't characterize. Yeah, I wouldn't care. I mean, stats you would know more than me. I wouldn't characterize Ole Miss as this just flush for cash school that alumni are just dripping with dollars. But
it's not Arkansas.
Yeah, they know what they have right now, and they've got a really good head ball coach who's got a lot of talent, and no more Nick Saban that they have to deal with. They won't even schedule. They're not even scheduled to play at Alabama. You get Georgia at home. If I'm an Ole Miss fan, I could be 80 years old, and I know Archie played and Eli played. I have never been more excited for a football season my entire life than what's set ahead for me this fall.
And that's the draw, and you make that good point. You get out there to Omaha, and you have those days off, and I said this at the Peach Bowl. You have that fundraiser. Heck, you get everybody drunker than hell, and you pass the hat, and the NIL coffers get full.
Yeah, we had this running joke, Brian and Stats, me, Chuck, and Tommy. It's like after a big play on the football field, you pass around the offering plate November the 16th when Texas is in town. If Arkansas is able to win, then you pass out the offering plate after that game.
Yeah. There's been a lot of Baptist church preachers that made a fortune on just as I am passing that plate around during it.
Yeah, there's no question about it.
I'm curious with baseball right around the corner. I'm so excited to start watching some college baseball. But I was reading up on this team, and D1 Baseball put out their kind of preseason, get to know the teams of the top 25 teams. And kind of the first thing they pointed to was the pitching rotation for Arkansas. I've been hearing everybody talk about Hagen Smith, who's back for the Razorbacks after a really good season last year. They bring in another starter from Texas Tech from last year. How good will this starting rotation and really this pitching staff in general for the Razorbacks be this year?
They're going to be salty. They're preseason top 5 by a number of different publications. Arkansas pitching. Usually it seems like a lot of other SEC schools, loses one guy before the season to a season-ending injury. Hopefully this staff doesn't, because if they're healthy, Brian, like those guys, and I'm forgetting the Tech kid's name. I think it's Molina.
Mason Molina.
Yeah, and he's apparently a dog. And then Smith is going to be a first-rounder. Brady Tigert has the potential to be a first-rounder, Mississippi kid. So, yeah, there's a lot to like in that clubhouse. And for Dave Van Horn to get 2018 off his back, to kind of finish what Norm DeBryan started, and to again culminate with the championship in Omaha at the tail end of June would be about the best thing. And just Arkansas athletics need some air right now. They need oxygen, and he sure could supply it if they ended up in Omaha this year.
No, you're right. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm excited for baseball to start. I know a lot of Arkansas fans are ready to get out there and root on the Hogs on the diamond. But, Ty, always so much fun talking to you. And enjoy the weekend. We'll do it again next week.
Guys, enjoy the boat show, and if you want to cop me one, we'll go out to Beaver and have some fun, okay?
You got what's your sign going to say tomorrow at game day? What's your sign?
It's just going to say win a game.
We need to win.
We need a good enough sign. Thanks, Ty.
See you guys.
You got it.
Ty Richardson. He joins us every single week from ESPN Arkansas to talk the Razorbacks and the SEC. And a big one tomorrow for them as they host game day, take on a really good Kentucky team that's going to be really, really ready to go after that loss against South Carolina. And then baseball starts. They're right around the corner, so a lot going on in Arkansas right now. Well, let me remind you, we're out here at the Agri Center live at the Mid-South Sport and Boat Show. Make sure you get out here. They'll be out here all weekend. We're here till 6 o'clock. We're also giving away tickets. Memphis versus Rice next week. We've got 2 4-packs to give away, so if you're coming out here, if you're not coming out here, stop by. $10 to get in and see all of these great boats, accessories, everything you could need here when spring and summer get here. But we need to take a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We all appreciate luxury. We love the newest technology. We want something that sparkles and looks great. Well, I've got it all in one place. It's called Genesis of Olive Branch, right at the corner of Highway 78, that's Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, that's Craft Road. Turn left and you will see Genesis of Olive Branch. And right now, you can get the 2024 Genesis GV70 starting at $49,480 with special financing as low as 3.49% on select models. How about the 2024 Genesis GV80? A little bit bigger, starting at $55,995, financing as low as 5.49% with a $2,000 rebate when trading a luxury brand. Call them. They'll even bring you a Genesis at your work or your home for a test drive. They're convinced that when you drive a Genesis, you're going to want one. Call 662-890-6684. Ask for Vinny. Genesis of Olive Branch.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every dollar you spend, you collect a point, earn 100 points, and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund is belong to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax-confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Save up to 80% when you file with TaxSlayer. Start for free.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Fiveash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
All 650 acquisition fee. Forte RE722-812, MSRP 21590. Sorrento PG 242-710, MSRP 33010. Telluride RG 462822, MSRP 38705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/31/2024 with approved credit dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, Happy New Year, dude. Hey, what's happening over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
Let's start the new year off right in your new Kia with 41 MPG Highway 2024 Kia Forte LXS $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Got a big family? Get a 2023 Kia Sorrento LX $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. Plus a 2024 Kia Telluride LX $449 a month, $34.99 due at signing. All 36 months lease.
And every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
And stop by and see the all-new EV9 all-electric SUV. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMTMoriah.com.
Don't miss your Grizzlies today at 7 p.m. when they host the Orlando Magic on Faith and Family Night. Fans are encouraged to stay post-show for laughs and fellowship with comedian Christian Mr. McCartney. Get ready for a show and secure your tickets by visiting Grizzlies.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy. Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy. The big boy. You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, I really love my big number today. We've talked a lot, and you look these past couple of weeks in college basketball, and it's really been tough for ranked teams going on the road against non-conference opponents. We've seen so many teams in the top 10 fall, and I saw this stat earlier today. My big number is 38.6. Another decimal in there, but that is the percentage this season for winning percentage for AP top 10 teams this season on the road against unranked opponents. They're 17-27 this season. In the last 5 years, last year it was 59.8% was the winning percentage of AP top 10. Pretty good bet. This year it's 38.6. The last 5 years, the lowest it's ever gotten is 58.9. You can say whatever you want about it, whether it's the transfer portal, whether it's still some of these super seniors playing. I don't know what it really is, but there's no doubt about it that top 25, top 10 specifically teams are having trouble going onto the road into these environments. We saw it last night. It's just tough to win road games.
It is, and last night Oregon State gets Arizona.
Sure did.
But I also saw you retweet our guy at University of Denver.
Sure did. Yeah, double overtime. How about that?
Oh, Tommy Bruner.
Oh man, what a guy! And
is
Brett,
he the nation's leading scorer?
if he's not, he's certainly up there. But Brett, I wanted to talk about this yesterday, and we just completely ran out of time. I was going to talk to you about it off air. Denver basketball drives me crazy.
You got a nickname?
I don't.
Pioneers.
That's right. Well, here's the problem, Brett, is Denver basketball, they broadcast their home games on their website live. You got a live stream, whatever, but it's behind a paywall. You have to pay to watch Denver basketball. For the Denver Pioneers. Brett, I go to I do a lot of things. I spend money to watch a lot of different events, especially
for
sports.
Pioneers,
but not for the. No. That is where I draw the line. I will not pay to watch the Denver Pioneers, and so I've not been able to watch. I'll be able to watch them when they're on the road. Haven't been able to watch them much, but I did see that highlight. A great game for Tommy Bruner last night. Had the steal and then kicked it around. They got an open three. It was a lot of fun.
Denver one time. This is weird.
Okay.
In a Sun Belt Conference tournament.
Whoa.
In the year 2000.
Whoa.
I go to the Sun Belt Conference tournament in North Little Rock.
Okay.
And they were in the Sun Belt.
Well, Brett, I thought we were about to get weird with conferences and teams being all over the place. I mean, good Lord, really Denver in the Sun Belt?
Yeah,
wow.
They were. And I can't remember their coach, but he was an old Maryland Lefty Drizel guy. And all he wanted to do was play defense.
I love it.
And wanted to win 39-38.
Defense wins championships, Brett.
Yeah, but at that level, you got to have Tommy Bruner.
That's right.
And you're trying to get behind a paywall. My big number is 33. That's the number of conference championship games for these four teams this weekend. 19 for San Francisco, 7 for Kansas City. Remember, some of that was in the AFL.
Mm-hmm.
5 for Baltimore and 2. This is the second one ever for the Detroit Lions. They were blasted after the 91 season in the NFC Championship game by Washington, and that was Washington when they won it in 91 with Mark Ripien at quarterback.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, San Francisco, the success that they have had, and then going up against a team
That's
that
how
is the
good
complete
Joe
opposite.
Gibbs was.
Oh, yeah.
Win 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks. Win it with Joe Theismann, win it with Doug Williams, win it with Mark Ripien.
That's incredible. So, I mean, it's a good number, and it's hard to think the team that's been there the most going up against the team that's been there the least, and we'll see what happens on Sunday.
And I almost went with this today.
Uh-huh.
And I'm hoping we can talk about it and can bring it up Super Bowl week with the Detroit Lions in it. Uniform number 20 for the Detroit Lions. It's retired. Everybody thinks Barry Sanders. Well, of course. It is for Barry Sanders. They had a defensive back, late 60s, early 70s, Lem Barney, that is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, that it's retired also for. He's honored as well. But there's a third person that's honored, and if he hadn't have gotten hurt early in his career, there would have never been a Barry Sanders in Detroit because he would have been the feature tailback, and that's Billy Sims, Boomer, on Heisman Trophy night. That guy.
Yeah, wow.
He was wearing number 20, and he burst on the scene and was going to be mega star and just massive knee injuries.
Wow.
And it really curtailed his career, and they needed a running back right after he's finally done, and they draft Barry Sanders from Oklahoma State. He wore 21 in college, and it was taken by some second-year defensive back. He said, that's all right, I'll wear 20.
Wow.
And it kind of is an honor to Billy Sims.
Wow, I did not know that. That's really interesting. But I know a lot of people, up in Detroit. I mean, they're super excited for what Sunday could be. And
for my Lions.
For your Lions, Brett. And
we've waited so long, Brian.
Yeah, tell me about all the years. And
well, it's really about 2 weeks.
ever
since
since the Cowboys got knocked out, then you.
It's been a long 2 weeks.
Yeah, Brett, I wish when I had started working here, I kept a list of the teams that were my team. My team. I know the Browns were in there at one point, maybe the Jaguars, Cleveland. Yes,
Tried Cleveland a time or two.
Good Lord. I mean, it's just been a lot. Curious who next week's going to be if the Lions lose.
When Eli was with the Giants, it was my Giants.
Giants, yeah. Well, I'm sure you need to, especially if that game starts going south, you need to start thinking about who your team for these next 2 weeks
because
will
I
be.
just really have never had an NFL team. I love it.
I
watch it. I keep up with it. I just never have had a team that stuck. I've tried with a million. I tried 70s with Cowboys and Steelers.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel right because I knew I was just kind of jumping in on the victory pile. Tried in the 70s with the Saints with Archie, and that really didn't feel right because they were so bad, and they almost killed him.
Well, I don't remember the actor who was at an NFL game a couple years ago, and he was just wearing an NFL hat. It was just
Rob Lowe.
It was Rob Lowe, and he was just wearing the shield on his hat. That's what you need. You just need the shield. You just love the NFL, and that's what you're here for. Well, we need to wrap up this hour and get to a break. Let me remind you, we're out here at the Agri Center for the Mid-South Sport and Boat Show. They're going to be out here all weekend. Get out here now. We're giving away tickets for this coming up week, Memphis versus Rice. We got 2 4-packs, so make sure you get over here, sign up for that, and check out everything they've got out here at the Agri Center. But like I said, if you can't make it today, they'll also be here tomorrow and Sunday. $10 to get in. Really, really good deal. But let's go ahead and wrap up this hour. When we come back, we're talking Tiger basketball with Jason Munns.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Paid Actor Portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Hey y'all, it's the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, January 26th through the 28th at the Agri Center. Come buy your new boat and make some memories at the lake this summer with family and friends. Premier dealers showcasing the newest ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats with huge show specials. Enter your chance to win daily door prizes. It's all at the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, January 26th through the 28th. For more info, go to memphisboatshow.com. That's memphisboatshow.com.
At the Agri Center.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's pretty heavy over here now as we check it out live on 240 going eastbound between Perkins and 385 as you get on to Biltmore's Parkway 385 headed out towards Collierville. That's in pretty good shape right now. Still wants to run a little bit slow from time to time. Northbound on 55 over here in the construction zone between Macklemore and South Parkway. Weimer's Jewelry 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your Valentine's Day headquarters. Shop local this Valentine's season. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Final hour of this week, and we want you to come by and visit with us at the Boat Show. We're here until 6 o'clock. They're here all weekend. Mm-hmm. Get out if you can because, I mean, it is just beautiful out here, and I even see sunshine out there.
Oh,
what
man.
is that?
What is it?
That's a sure sign that summer's on the way here at the Boat Show and with the sun out. And every Friday at this time during Tiger basketball season, we talk Tiger basketball with the beat writer from the Commercial Appeal on all things Tigers basketball. That's Jason Munns, and he's brought to you and presented to you by Jim's Place Grill. Over 100 years of charcoal grill steaks, over 100 years of great celebrations, family time, and lasting great memories. The Terrace family with their touch for our community, recipes that date back to the beginning in downtown to now in Collierville at the railroad tracks at Poplar and Houston Levee. They're so glad to be back and open this weekend like normal after last week's inconvenience from all the bad weather. Go online at jimsplacegrill.com, but don't forget the E in grill. When you do that, every steak grilled perfectly over an open flame. Come to Jim's Place and taste and see and feel the difference. Lunch hours, Monday through Friday, 11 a to 2 p.m. Dinner hours, Monday through Saturday, 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Make it a part of your weekend this weekend. Since 1921, a Memphis landmark, values and dedication to their diners with hard work, the Terrace family, they've created a memorable dining experience. The lunch menu, the staples like the souffle ma, the shrimp cocktail, crab cakes, and all those homemade salad dressings. And at dinner time, seafood, soups, calamari, and the steaks that made Jim's famous, ribeyes, strips, and fillets. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the Grizzlies tonight. And on Sunday in the bar area, the Tigers on Sunday afternoon, and all the NFL action. Fantastic bar area all at Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. Jason Munns, he joins us now. And, Jason, it has been tough sledding since a week ago last night after a 20-point home lead. Give that up, lose that game, lose on Sunday at Tulane, and now a real crossroads, a fork-in-the-road game Sunday at Bartow Arena in Birmingham.
Yeah, it is. It very much so is. Back-to-back losses. The resume is starting to look it's starting to lose some of its luster. The more Arkansas loses, obviously the more Michigan and Missouri lose. The Tigers could use a little help because
Virginia Common's helping.
Yeah.
That's true. No, that's true. And Texas A&M is still kind of helping a little bit, I guess, and Clemson, but they could use a little help from their old friends, because their new friends and the rest of the American Conference are not going to do it. You got SMU losing at North Texas last night. Now, North Texas, that's still, that's a game that's still a month away, but they're surprising a few people here as of late. But first it's UAB. They gotta figure out that those multiple zone looks that Andy Kennedy's going to throw at them on Sunday, and somehow they gotta figure out a way to stop somebody on defense.
And Jason, a real opportunity. Brian and I were talking earlier about it. Just scratch out a 1-point win, then I won't say easy, but a softer patch in the schedule with a lot of home games and very manageable road games could really turn this last week doom and gloom, and frankly, a lot of the doom and gloom led by me, Jason, could really turn it around.
It could. You got Rice coming in here next Wednesday, which they're one of the worst teams in the conference, and so you feel good about that one. And then Wichita State's lost like 8 or 9 games in a row. Memphis has already beaten them on the road, obviously putting up 112 points on them a couple of weeks ago. But you got to get past. You got to get back in the win column, honestly, against UAB. And it's like the tough thing about UAB is, they're like, I think they're 12-7 now, 4-2 in conference. So like not, on paper, or just at least at first glance, it doesn't seem, it seems like it's going to be a decent opponent, a decent matchup. But then you look at their net, they're like 150 in the net or something like that. And it's like, oh man, that's it's like you that's another one you have to kind of win, especially coming off the home loss to South Florida and the road loss to Tulane. That one you can live with. The road loss at Tulane you can live with, because I think they're right around 110 in the net or something like that. And it's like, again, you can live with the road loss to Tulane, but that home loss to South Florida is the one that's really going to sting for possibly a little while.
The biggest issue for the Tigers on Sunday, I guess one of the biggest issues on Sunday in that game against Tulane, was availability. I mean, they just had a lot of guys that couldn't go late in the game. You reported Pierre could not make the trip because he was dealing with an illness. Then you get to the game, and Jaquan Walton leaves the game with an injury. You had a couple other guys dealing with illnesses and couldn't go as long as you would have liked them to go. I think Tomlin got poked in the eye at some point, couldn't really go late in that game. Where do the Tigers stand right now going into Sunday's game from the standpoint of health and availability?
Yeah, don't forget about Nicholas Jourdain, who was apparently had some food poisoning, and he was not even close to himself. He played, I think he played around 18 minutes, which
2 points.
He's been playing a lot more than that, but he had 2 points, 2 rebounds. He was just not himself. Like when they got to the arena on Sunday, people were telling me that he had been throwing up and stuff, and it was like, he probably shouldn't be playing, but he is going to play because Jonathan Pierre didn't make the trip. And so, no, but after talking to some people earlier this week, it became clear to me that that everybody's going to be okay, that Pierre's back on the practice floor, that Jourdain has gotten over his situation, that Walton is going to be just fine, and Naquan as well. And that was all confirmed yesterday when we talked to Penny. He said everybody's healthy, everybody's good to go. But no, like, all those issues that those 4 guys were dealing with were very real. And, you certainly, nobody ever likes to, say, well, if everybody had been healthy, it's the old excuse thing. Nobody likes to go there, but facts are facts, and they were down guys, and so there was a very good reason that they had to reach further into their bench than they would have liked to.
Jason, a lot of quotes coming from Coach Hardaway this week. We'll start back earlier in the week when he said that he gave this team 3 months off. I don't know if I've ever heard a coach ever say that. Dave said he thought it was rhetoric more than anything else. Maybe not, just center the bullseye on the money there. But heck, if he gave them 3 days off, other than around Christmas, I don't know if I've ever heard a coach admit that. What did you think of those comments?
I'm kind of with Dave. I don't think he meant it literally. I think what he meant was
just throwaway line.
Well, no, not necessarily that, but more like, I think what he was trying to say was he has not been as much of a stickler for like practices as he normally is. And I think part of that is because he's got such a veteran team. The whole load management argument that comes up every year in the pros. You see it every year in the NBA. Guys are given nights off here and there to keep them fresh, for the bigger prize later on down the line. And I think that is probably more what Penny was trying to say. He's got a lot of guys with a lot of miles on their tires, and so if a guy came to him and said, "Hey, I'm not feeling it today," He didn't really ask too many questions. He just said, "Okay, fine, take it easy today." And I think what he was trying to say when he said that was, that's over with now. Like you got to be hurt. You got to be dealing with something pretty serious if you're gonna take a day off. And so I think that's probably more what he was trying to say. It just kind of came out a little bit mangled.
Yeah. Jason, I think for me, in earlier this week when y'all had media availability, the one that stuck out to me was David Jones speaking, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but said something along the lines of, Penny draws something up for us. He gives us a game plan. There's a set game plan, and we just kind of go out there and get off the game plan, kind of do our own thing. What did you make of that comment from David Jones, and what do you kind of put that with? Is that just kind of guys being selfish out there, or guys just kind of getting away from it, not being able to go out there and execute? I mean, what goes into that?
I think it's partially selfishness. I think it's partially hard-headedness. I think it's partially, you also hear this a lot from the players, and have for ever since Penny's been here, that he gives them a lot of freedom, right? He gives them a lot of freedom to sort of do what they want to do on offense. And I think that you might, all that mixed together is probably what is going on, especially when you hear David Jones say stuff like that. I don't know that they are sitting in the huddle or looking over to the sideline and Penny's calling a play or he's giving directions or whatever, and they go, "Oh no, forget that! Like no, like we're not. That's not going to happen." I think they probably, they see what he calls or hear what he wants to go with, and then they might survey the field. They get out there and they see what the defense is presenting them, and they go with something else, and it doesn't work, or they go with something that they think would work, and obviously it doesn't. So that's not the first time that you've heard. That may be the first time you've heard a player say that, but you've heard Penny say it plenty of times in the last few seasons, where he says, we give them the answers to the test, and we prepare them, we over-prepare them, and then they get out there and they just start doing whatever they want to do. So, yeah, that's kind of my read on that situation. But there have been a lot of, we could probably do a whole show on the number of eyebrow-raising sound bites that we heard this week. Yep, crazy.
And one yesterday that you were there and you chronicled and tweeted and wrote about. Jason, I'm fine on locked in on Sunday. It's a real crossroads game, fork in the road game, must-win game, season-defining game. Can't imagine 3 straight losses. So I would have been managing expectations if I would consult him on a meeting with the media, and the media putting the word out kind of for his program of, it's all about Sunday. And he does all that, and then he throws in, and we can still go to the Final Four.
Yeah, he did. I think he also said something like, we still have the ability to be a top 5 defense. And it's like, I that part I don't have much of an issue with, because I do think the talent is there. I think I've said this before. I think their defensive issues have more to do with commitment and buy-in and mindset than actual being able to do it. Like I think they've got everything they need to be a very, very good defensive team so far, except for what's in their head and what's in their chest. And they if they can get those two things, fine-tuned, then I think they will be a very good defense. But, yeah, to say, how Penny is. Like, that's just, he's going to, he's never going to shy away from bold proclamations. And even in the face of, kind of some significant evidence to the contrary. Now, I'm not one of those ones, honestly, who's like bought into the fact that 2 bad games, it was 2 bad games, not even really 2 bad games. I mean, again, Tulane should have beaten FAU on its own home floor. And, FAU's top 30 in the net, right? And they're top 25 in the poll. They're 6-1 or 5-1 in conference play, and I understand they've got some bad losses, but this Tulane team isn't that bad of a team. But when you have a couple of tough losses in a 72-hour span, I'm not forgetting about everything else that they've done really, really well this season. So you might not want Penny to say those sorts of things right now, but at the same time, I'm not like selling the Tigers. I think they're still a very, very good team with a chance to make some noise in March.
Are you buying?
No, not right now. I need them to turn. I need them to turn it around first. Yeah,
so your passbook savings account right now.
I am definitely holding. Like they need to turn it around. Yes. I need to see some evidence that this trend, the direction they're moving right now, is not going to be the direction they continue to move.
That's what I want to see, Jason. I would want to see take care of business Sunday, get on that good roll that we talked about, to a softer portion of the schedule, more manageable portion of the schedule. Let's get to Saturday at Dickies Arena in the Final Four of the AAC before I start talking Phoenix.
Right. Yeah, but again, Penny is he's never shied away from. He's never been one to bite his tongue when it comes to saying what he feels, and I have no doubt whatsoever that is how he feels. I mean, and who are we to say that based on what he has seen and what he has heard in practice this week doesn't make him believe that that they have what it takes. But yeah, from an optics standpoint, you certainly it's a tough one to sort of stomach when you blew a 20-point lead at home to South Florida, and then you had a 7-point lead in the second half against Tulane, a Tulane team that just lost to UTSA. But I could argue UTSA is a far better team than their numbers and their metrics suggest. They got that Jordan Ivy Curry, who's averaging 20 points a game for them, about 10 games ago. They were very bad before they got him, but he's come in and he scored 38 against FAU, 28 against Memphis, and hit the game-winning three-pointer against Tulane. So just because Tulane lost to UTSA does not make Tulane a bad team.
Yeah. Talking to Jason Munz, the Tiger basketball beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. He's presented every week by Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. Well, Jason, Jordan Brown is officially back with the team. He was with the team down in New Orleans against Tulane. He looks slimmer. I think Dave said that he's dropped 7 pounds, or that he told Dave that he had lost 7 pounds since he left the Tigers team. I know a lot of people expected him to get a couple of minutes at least in that game against Tulane, but he didn't get a single minute. What do you expect to see? Do we see him any, if at all, this weekend against UAB? And how are the players reacting to him being back with the team?
Yeah, I'm just glad that that saga has sort of come to an end. Hopefully it's come to an end.
Hopefully. Yeah, good word there.
Yeah, I mean, these last few
Hope he
weeks
doesn't relapse.
These last few weeks have been crazy. Sort of keeping the old nose to the ear to the ground on that one. But he did not play against Tulane. I think the expectation was that he would. I was actually sitting there with Dave when he asked Jordan about how much weight he's lost, and yeah, he said it's about 7 or 8 pounds, and honestly, it looks like a little bit more than that.
Sure does.
But that's what he said, and that's a good thing. He was certainly not in the best shape. Excuse me, when he was here before to start the season, but I would expect him to play against UAB, especially because UAB has such a strong front court. They've got Yaxel Lindeborg, who is, I think, first or second in the conference in not only rebounding but also block shots. And then they've got another big guy named Javion Davis, who's averaging about 6 or 7 rebounds himself. So they've got a really, really strong front court. Malcolm Dandridge is doing great work, but I don't know that, it's going to be a physical, it's going to be a game for him down low. And yet, he could play 30 minutes. He could put up a career high in minutes and blocks against Tulane, because the tallest player that Tulane plays is 6'7". But this may be a time. This may be the perfect example of why you bring somebody like Jordan Brown back. But to answer your question about how the players are feeling about it, we kind of got a sense of this from David Jones when he was asked about it yesterday. He smiled and said that it's a little weird having Jordan Brown back, and I think what he meant by that is, honestly, Jordan Brown sort of walked out on the team after that Ole Miss loss back in early December. And so I think the players largely do feel a certain way about him being brought back into the fold. But I do think they also understand, and David said this, there are a lot of experienced guys on this team, and they're old enough and wise enough to understand that if they do want to go as far as they can go in March/April, you might need someone. You might need as many weapons and as many reinforcements as you could possibly get.
Yeah.
And so I think they've kind of come to that. They've accepted that. And
I want to win. Welcome back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, listen, he's a great insurance policy. Malcolm Dandridge is playing more than he's ever played, and we all know that he has a history of injuries. And nobody's saying that he's going to get injured, but like in the unfortunate event that he does, and you don't have another true big man. I mean, yeah, you got Naquan Tomlin and Nick Jourdain, but they're not true big men. Jordan Brown is. So, and I don't know that anybody is saying, let's face it, Jordan Brown struggled when he was here those first 7 games. I don't know that anybody is expecting him to come in and be. I think the ceiling, the expectations should be lowered for what you're going to get from Jordan Brown. But if he can be there in case something goes wrong, or in case foul trouble becomes an issue, or just to give Malcolm some extra time off the floor so that he can be fresher later in the season, then bring him on. I think that's what the players have finally accepted.
Yeah, I think it's definitely good to have him on the bench for sure. Well, hopefully the Tigers can turn it around this week in a big one Sunday afternoon in Birmingham against UAB. But as always, Jason, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next Friday.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, you, Jason. Jason Munn's with us from the Commercial Appeal every Friday, presented by Jim's Place in Collierville, and we do want Jason to be safe going down. I know a lot of Tiger fans going down. I don't blame you. It was always a fun rival in the past. Do we play for anything in basketball? Can we even a little short rack of ribs or anything?
We got to get something going, right?
You wouldn't put them both up for it. No, because you play basketball 2 or 3 times in a year.
You got to have something, though.
Yeah.
Maybe we get like a little trophy, like a Bartow trophy or something like that, the Bartow Cup.
In 2014, when Ole Miss and State, in that first college football playoff poll was released, State was number 1.
Yeah.
Number 1 for 5 weeks that fall. Our great friend Kerry Dickey here at Mississippi State, big fan. He knows it. Kerry, we can open your mic up if you need it. and that year, I threw this out. Whoever won the Egg Bowl at traditional game day, if they met again in the college football playoff, is the Egg Bowl in play?
It's a good question.
I say if you play, it's in play.
I like it.
One could win it in November
and turn right back around.
If you lost in the playoffs, we get to take it home.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because there's a lot of places you can stencil in the scores.
Sure, they can find more space.
But I don't think you'd want to kind of commingle it for football and basketball like the Bones.
I don't think so. But I mean, with they're calling it the Bartow Bowl or whatever they're calling it. Maybe we could start like a little trophy, the Bartow Cup or something like that, and get something in basketball going.
And a tribute to a great man that Andy Kennedy loves so much, like a dad for Andy Kennedy and a dad, great friend to a lot of us. Here. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Hewlett & Dunn. They're on the historic square in Collierville. They've been there since 1961. Charles Hall, he started working there in his teens, and now with his wife, Laura, what a team they are. They own the place, known for all the great boots, and we needed the boots the last few weeks. We need them for any season, for any occasion. They've got them for that. Clothing, accessories, and a cap for any team, for any season. Western wear, work boots, safety toe, soft toe, rubber boots, boots for every occasion at Hewlett & Dunn. From head to toe, they have you covered with every brand imaginable. Dan Post, Anderson Bean, Ariat, whether for men or for women, you're taken care of there. Men's and women's clothing, jeans, pants, shirts, shorts. We'll be wearing those on these boats soon. Outerwear and the best duckhead collection you'll find anywhere. Charles and Laura Hall invite you to 111 North Center Street on the square in Collierville, or go to HewlettDunn.com. But better, get by there and visit with them. Hats, sunglasses, boot care products, every area team snapback cool hat you can think of, like from Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Tennessee, the Tigers, the Razorbacks. Tiger fans headed to Birmingham. Get you one of those hats for the road trip down to Birmingham. And for travel, get ready to travel. The bag selection, top-notch. HewlettDunn.com. But please stop by and visit and say hello at 111 North Center Street on the square in Collierville at Hewlett & Dunn. Don't know if they have this, but saw a nice person walk by at the boat show, and on the T-shirt it said, "Forgive me for everything I said while we were trying to dock the boat."
That is a great shirt. I hope they have those out here. I might have to get me one of those. No, there's some great things out here, not just the boats. I know we've highlighted the boats.
It's like I used to tell people, forgive me for everything I said or did to you in the 20th century.
That's right. That's right. But no, I mean, we're out here at the Agri Center for the Mid-South Sport and Boat Show. You need to get out here. They'll be out here all weekend long. It's not just the boats. They have beautiful boats and all types of boats, but they've also got a bunch of accessories and stuff for your boat, for your fishing and all sorts of stuff like that. So get out here to the Agri Center. They'll be out here all weekend. But we're late for a break, so let's go ahead and grab that. When we come back, we'll make our picks for our First National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
We all appreciate luxury. We love the newest technology. We want something that sparkles and looks great. Well, I've got it all in one place. It's called Genesis of Olive Branch, right at the corner of Highway 78, that's Lamar, and the first exit in Mississippi, that's Craft Road. Turn left and you will see Genesis of Olive Branch. And right now, you can get the 2024 Genesis GV70 starting at $49,480 with special financing as low as 3.49% on select models. How about the 2024 Genesis GV80? A little bit bigger, starting at $55,995, financing as low as 5.49% with a $2,000 rebate when trading a luxury brand. Call them. They'll even bring you a Genesis at your work or your home for a test drive. They're convinced that when you drive a Genesis, you're going to want one. Call 662-890-6684. Ask for Vinny. Genesis of Olive Branch.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
It's a new year, and Family Leisure has a new way to bring family and fun together. All you have to do is walk into Family Leisure and look around. All those floor model patio sets you see, those have got to go. So Family Leisure can make room for all the new sets coming. Get a wicker sofa set for under $2,000. Pool tables under $1,500. Theater seating for under $2,000. Hot tubs for $4,000 or just for yourself. If you really want to lounge, they're under $5,000. Need patio cushions? Get them as low as $25. Oh, have you seen those infrared steam saunas? Well, now they and the traditional saunas are 25% off. It may just be the first few weeks of 2024, but that doesn't mean you can't start getting ready for summer. Two final things. Purchase your above-ground pool now and get first in line for installation, and take advantage of special financing that's available. Family Leisure, Whitten Road and I-40, bringing the family and the fun back together.
All 650 acquisition fee, Forte RE722-812, MSRP 21590, Sorrento PG 242-710, MSRP 33010, Telluride RG 462822, MSRP 38705, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license, see dealer for complete details, offer valid through 1/31/2024 with approved credit dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, Happy New Year, dude. Hey, what's happening over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
Let's start the new year off right in your new Kia with 41 MPG Highway 2024 Kia Forte LXS $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Got a big family? Get a 2023 Kia Sorento LX $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. Plus a 2024 Kia Telluride LX $449 a month, $34.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
And every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
And stop by and see the all-new EV9 all-electric SUV. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMTMoriah.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Friday football forecast from First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. Real estate isn't something you purchase or develop or desire. It's something you appreciate, respect, and know. With real estate, there's no gray area. You either know it or you don't. First National Bank and Trust, a proud division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. They've known it since their beginning in 1886. Clients depend on First National Bank because they know real estate. Brooks Winchester, Bill Samish, and many more can assist you in your acquisition of that hunting land, farmland, a construction project. Let First National Bank and Trust make your dreams a reality. 775 Ridge Lake Boulevard, Suite 140 in Memphis, 901-498-5763, or the office in Collierville, or online at fnbtmemphis.com. For commercial real estate, residential construction, or recreational and agriculture financing, let First National Bank and Trust help you. They're a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, where I have had an account, been a friend, and been a customer my entire life.
And we thank First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas and First National Bank and Trust in West Tennessee so much for really all these years of being with us on Fridays, at SEC Media Days, at the golf tournament, at other events through the years they've been with us. And I think people are seeing and feeling the difference now being made with their operation in West Tennessee. Forever in Eastern Arkansas, just the true rock of Eastern Arkansas have made people's lives and dreams come true, and now you're seeing it in West Tennessee. Customer confidence is the cornerstone of First National Bank and Trust, and the office is here and even going to grow even more in this calendar year of 2024. Brian, we're down to 2 games. We'll pick Super Bowl 58 in 2 weeks from today, but only 2 picks left. 2:30 on CPS, the AFC Championship game. Baltimore's at home. They've been installed as a 4.5-point favorite. We always add the half. We don't push, do we?
No, we do not. You got to have a winner and a loser, Brett.
We don't bluff and we don't push, do we?
No, we don't do either of those
Baltimore,
things.
2-2 all-time in AFC Championship games. Both times they've won, they went on to win the Super Bowl, undefeated in Super Bowl play in 2012 season. January of 2013, they beat San Francisco in the Superdome in New Orleans, Super Bowl 47. And in 2000, they beat the New York Giants. 17-12 all-time in playoffs. 28 years in Baltimore. Quite a record and quite a tradition they've built in that short time. Kansas City, 22-21 all-time in playoffs. 6 straight AFC Championship games. This is their 7th all-time. The AFL doesn't count. That was a whole different league back then. The definition of success under Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Next year, Patrick Mahomes will pass on opening week Lenny Dawson for all-time passing yards. Only trails him by 83. But they don't count in the playoffs. He'll do that week 1 next year. He is now the face of that franchise.
Yeah.
Kansas City leads the series all-time 7-5, 7-4 regular season. They lost to Baltimore 30-7 in the only postseason game that these two have ever played in. That was after the 2010 season. That day it was Joe Flacco versus Matt Castle. It's not that Sunday.
No, it is not. And Brett, before we make picks, I'm curious. I was just thinking about this, and it might be something for me to keep track of next year. So don't let me forget about it, because I do want to keep track of it. I'm curious because you pointed out we never push. We always, add the hook. I'm curious how many games this season would have caught us on the hook if we had just taken a 4. There's no way you have.
I'll give you all the bookwork and paperwork for the year, and you can figure it out.
Oh no! I'm not figuring it out now. But I might next year try to
yes,
try to keep up with it myself. I'm certainly not going back the whole year.
I'll let you score at home.
Yeah,
with that one.
I'll score at home with that one. No, I'm definitely not putting that on you. Out of all the, I mean, Brett, just looking at your pages of everything you have in there, you don't need anything else. You need to take some things off, I'm sure. But in this first one tomorrow, looking at it, I think it's going to be such a back and forth game. And you look on one side, Baltimore with what they've done, what Lamar Jackson has done. John Harbaugh has already been to the Super Bowl once. He knows what it takes to get there, and I think he has a team that is capable of doing it. It looks like Mark Andrews is going to be able to play this weekend, which will be huge for them. But, Brett, the big but there, Patrick Mahomes is on the other side, and it's hard to bet against him. It's hard to bet against Andy Reid. It's hard to bet against Travis Kelce. I know you can talk about some of the receivers that have struggled at times this season, but that defense has been, they still got Frank Warner. They still have got a lot of those guys defensively that have been massive to the success of this franchise. I don't know why I said Frank Warner. He's with the 49ers, but the Chiefs have so many players offensively and defensively have been in this same situation year in and year out. Brett, I'm taking the Chiefs plus the 4.5. I'm not taking them straight up. They might win it straight up. But I still think that this game's going to be so close. We're talking about a field goal. I think that this one comes down to one way or the other.
Brian, you are right on everything you just uttered.
Thank you.
Except for one thing.
Frank Warner being on the Chiefs.
Well, everybody makes mistakes. the facts are there. You made a great case. The Chiefs are winning straight up.
Wow.
You're right about the field goal.
Wow.
20-17.
Holy cow.
At the buzzer. So for just the straight up picks that we've done through the whole playoffs, I can write us both down for Kansas City. Johnny, what is your straight up pick in this game? Just straight up, no points.
I got the Ravens.
You've got Baltimore.
Wow.
And Johnny's only 10-0. And we don't let him play next year with us after this kind of start.
No.
The second game Sunday, it starts at 5:30 in the NFC Championship game on Fox. San Francisco minus 7.5 over my Detroit Lions. San Francisco, I can't even say it with a straight face. San Francisco 7-11 all-time in NFC Championship games. 5-2 all-time in Super Bowls. Here are the quarterbacks to lead San Francisco to championship games, to Super Bowls rather. Joe Montana, Steve Young, Colin Kaepernick, Jimmy Garoppolo. Can Brock Purdy join that list? 38-24 all-time in playoffs. 78 years as a franchise. How about for Detroit, though? 94 years as a franchise. 28 for Baltimore. 64 for Kansas City. Detroit 9-13 all-time in the playoffs. Second NFC Championship game ever. Got blasted by Washington. Jared Goff 5-3 in playoff games in his career. 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. All-time losing record, though, as a franchise. Here's their record in 94 years.
Okay.
591, 707, and 34.
Wow.
That's a lot of games, isn't it?
Sure is.
Detroit Lions getting 7.5. Give me the 7.5 for funsies. Detroit wins the game straight up 31-17. They make it look easy.
Wow. Well, we just had a man that walked by and mid-stride, did not even stop, pointed over at us, and all he said was, take Detroit and the points.
We will.
All right. I'm with. That's all I needed. I'm also going to take Detroit in this one. Such a big line, especially with us playing the 7.5. I mean,
now you didn't take Kansas City straight up, though, did you?
No. I don't.
Took the points.
Yeah, I just took the points.
What about straight up on Detroit?
I don't want to go straight up with Detroit either.
Just riding the points.
I'm just riding the points, Brett. I think that's the safest way to go in both of these games, but it's such a big number. We saw the 49ers struggle last week with the Packers. I don't think struggle's the right word because I think the Packers played really, really well in that game. But
they did struggle.
They did struggle, and they couldn't put them away, and so I think the Lions are a better team. The Lions are going to come in here and really, they know what's on the line. These, this isn't college where, they all, some guys are from Detroit and have, known what it is. But these guys have been around long enough. They know what this means to the city, and I believe they're going to give everything they got to have Detroit get back to get to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to take Detroit.
We got group locks on the point spread picks. Johnny, your straight up pick in San Francisco and Detroit.
I got the San Francisco 49ers. I just believe in what they about to do.
Favorites for Johnny this week.
A lot of reason to do that. The group locks have not been kind.
No,
to us
they have not.
In the
What's
playoffs.
new?
They have not. That's our Friday football forecast brought to you every week by First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. Stable, secure, solid, reliable, and consistent through all these years, whether for commercial real estate, agriculture, hunting, recreational real estate. Contact them at fnbt.com or call 901-498-5763.
Well, let's get to our final break of the day. When we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When you're hunting for small game or big game or thinking of selling your home, think about Sheldon Rosengarten and you Mallory.
That's right, Sheldon. We're with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, and while I'm often successful when I go hunting, I heard you're such a lousy golfer they've banned you from some courses.
Very funny, you. I may be a horrible golfer, but I have a highly successful strategic marketing program with the famous Shellbucks option that takes up most of my practice time. My clients would much rather see me sell their home than hit a hole-in-one.
Sheldon, you're normally about 5 strokes away from a hole-in-one. That's on a par 3.
Yeah. Remember, don't tee off with any agent. Talk to 2 or 3 and let you, Mallory, and me be one of them. Remember what people often say, when you want the job done, call Sheldon. And Mallory Moves Memphis. That's Sheldon Rosengarten and you, Mallory, at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now, 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com.
Let's make this the new year to drive your new Kia home from Gossett Kia on the Pike. Bobby J's waiting to put you in a new Kia today. So come hit the road with 41 MPG Highway and 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Or get 7 passenger seating in a 2023 Kia Sorento LX. We Gossett at $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And if you want your new ride to be a 2024 Kia Telluride LX, we Gossett at $449 a month, $34.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease plus Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Kia today, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, Forte RE722-812, MSRP 21,590, Sorento PG 242-710, MSRP 33,010, Telluride RG 462822, MSRP 38,705, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license, see dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/31/2024 with approved credit, dealer stock only.
Is your home still not warm enough or running out of hot water? Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, and we've got exciting news for you. Introducing Choate's Carrier Repair Buyback Program. If you've had HVAC or water heater repairs in the past year, you're in luck. Choate's will credit your repair costs up to $1,500 with a brand new HVAC or tankless water heater system. Yep, you heard right. Just bring your repair invoice from the last 365 days and get ready to upgrade your home's comfort. Say goodbye to those chilly nights and inconsistent heating. Choate's has you covered with various low-payment financing plans, making your upgrade more affordable than ever. Imagine a more efficient and reliable system keeping your family cozy all winter long. And here's the best part. This offer is a substantial boost towards a state-of-the-art heating solution. Ready to take the next step? Schedule your free estimate by calling 347-8086. And remember, turn to the experts with Choate's and let our family serve your family.
Hey y'all, it's the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, January 26th through the 28th at the Agri Center. Come buy your new boat and make some memories at the lake this summer with family and friends. Premier dealers showcasing the newest ski boats, pontoons, fishing boats with huge show specials. Enter your chance to win daily door prizes. It's all at the Mid-South Sports and Boat Show, January 26th through the 28th. For more info, go to memphisboatshow.com. That's memphisboatshow.com.
At the Agri Center.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so...
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, I learned a couple of things today. The first thing I learned, and we mentioned it in our last segment, but Mark Andrews has been activated from the IR with the Ravens, so he'll be able to play. I've seen some reports that says he looks like he is full strength, ready to go. And you knew, Brett, we've been talking about a lot of these players that have been dealing with injuries. Mark Andrews is certainly more severe because he had surgery, but a lot of these guys that are dealing with injuries right now, they'll find a way to play on Sunday, whether it's 100% or 60%. They're going to make sure that they're out there to help their team.
They would a lot during the regular season, but this is when they go to the trainer and go,
absolutely,
I don't care what you're saying.
Yes, I'm going to be out there on that field.
Now, one thing that league independent neuro guy, that still can put you on the sideline.
Absolutely.
But for Mark Andrews, he was always the most consistent receiver for Lamar Jackson.
For
now
sure.
him back hale and hearty. What I learned, time is now for Lamar Jackson. Win, and he is in the club of greats. He's in a Super Bowl. He will have played in a Super Bowl. That's a lot. Now, I know he wants to go past that. But lose in the criticism, it goes with it. It's the position. Regardless of who you are or how you play or who you play for, it goes with it. Phillip Rivers, Warren Moon, Carson Palmer, Dan Fouts, all great, but none of them ever made it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a really good point. What I could have done without Brett, I've been excited all day to bring this up. ESPN Plus, exclusive content. I hope they don't come after me for sharing their exclusive content that's behind a paywall. But today they put out a way too early 2024 MLB All-Stars AL and NL roster predictions. Take a guess.
I thought we'd have more germane baseball news than that.
Well, take a guess. How many Cardinals are on the NL roster?
Just roster or starting?
This is just starter. No, this is starter and backup.
I'm going to say 4.
Well, you would be wrong.
3.
You would also be wrong.
Uh-oh. Am I going in the right direction?
You are going in the right direction.
1.
There is one player from what I saw on the roster, and you will never guess who it is.
Tommy Edman.
Lars Nootbaar, listed as an outfielder, a backup in the outfield.
Right, I'm looking at your laptop now. You're at the Onion. You're not at ESPN.
I don't know where I'm at, but this can't be right. I mean, all of the players, I know this is a young team.
Right. What's that side? No, I'm kidding.
no, but no. Only one player. Yes, no.
No.
But only one player on here, and it's Lars Nootbaar. I mean, maybe when we come down to pitchers, maybe I'm missing one, but I don't think so. That would be
I'm going to try the unthinkable.
Oh, no.
All-Star game. You know where it is this year?
Oh, it's in Arlington. Yeah,
on the Tuesday of SEC
That's right.
Media Day.
Yeah. Oh, Brett.
Can I get out of there at 5:57:50 and get out to Jerry's World to the ballpark to Globe Life?
Now, Brett, here's the thing. I know you have a ton of connections. You're going to have to work your connections to pull that off. Nah, there's no way.
I think I need a state trooper.
You're going to need something.
Texas Ranger, and not a baseball player.
No, not
I think on a good day, getting from downtown Dallas out to Globe Life would easily be 40 minutes.
I mean, but if you can pull it off, that would be unbelievable.
I've never been to an All-Star game. I didn't go to one in St. Louis.
Wow.
Now it was a big foul up on
Yikes.
wires crossed. Person had me a good ticket. Called and said, "Where are you? I got your ticket. I'm at Hilton at the ballpark."
Oh, no.
I'm in Memphis.
Oh, no.
I couldn't get there.
Let me hop on my private jet and get there.
And he thought we had coordinated.
Wow, that's rough. What you could have done without?
I could do without any Final Four talk.
Oh, man.
What I want
Brett.
is beat UAB talk.
Yeah. Brett, I'll be honest. I mean, hearing Penny Hardaway bring it up again yesterday that, hey, we can still get to the Final Four. Now, and Jason Munz, I think, said this
made a great case that they should be thinking.
Yes. And Brett, I think, and Jason Munz, I thought, brought up a good point of, he also said, be a top 5 defense in the country. I don't think that's realistic with what I've seen this defense, but it's more realistic right now saying we can turn things around defensively.
I just want to beat UAB. Son.
I want to beat UAB.
Let's go
Stop
number
the Final
1,
Four
2, and 3
talk.
for me right now.
Let's just win the next game in front of us, and let's keep that mindset until
and then beat Rice.
Yes.
And just chop a little wood game to game. Kind of that pro mindset.
Yes. That's how you've got to approach it. Where are you beaming?
San Francisco with number 20. I talked about number 20 for the Lions. I'm going to get me a number 20 Billy Sims jersey for my Lions, and I'm going to wear it to Levi Stadium. 7.5-point underdog. Money line plus 290. Not many expecting Detroit to win. Brian Branch on defense, the rookie from Alabama, he's got to come up big.
And he's played really well this season, too. Beam me, Brett, you're going to love this one. Beam me to Aspen, Colorado for the – I see your face right now, Brett, for the start of the X Games.
But you weren't cold enough last week?
I wasn't cold enough. Well, I don't know.
Could I see another flake again in my life.
Brett, could I get one of those, do they have, the Taylor Swift booths that she was in all week? She looked warm up there. I mean, do they have those in Aspen, Colorado? I need something like that in Aspen, but the X Games starting tonight. I'll be honest, Brett, one of my friends texted me and said, please beam to the X Games. I said, sure, why not? I'll beam to the X Games.
I once told a friend of mine, I said, I'm never paying money to go on these ski trips and be cold. He said, oh, it's not cold. I said, it's at least 32 degrees or there's not snow.
It is not what I would way rather, and we've had this conversation before because I know you're kind of like me, Brett. I would way rather it be 120 degrees and I'm sweating my tail off than it be, 40 degrees, 50 degrees. I mean,
I can sleep hot. I cannot sleep cold.
No.
And last week, a couple nights, my heat wasn't catching up.
Oh, man. Oh, that's tough. I think that was a lot of people.
We'll watch a lot this weekend. Tigers on Sunday afternoon in the middle of all the basketball. The Grizzlies on Sunday. I'm heading to FedEx Forum when we get through out here at the boat show. Boat show all weekend. You can come out here and see it all weekend. Great top 25 matchups and game day at Fayetteville. That will be awkward at best and maybe fun. If you can beat Duke, you can beat Kentucky.
Sure, absolutely. It's going to be a fun weekend all around. College basketball, NFL, NBA, a lot going on. Make sure you get out here to the Agri Center for the Mid-South Sport and Boat Show. But that's all the time we have today. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you again Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock.